Gotta walk through fire for what's important. The warrior's blood through your veins is coursing. Kill for hire, soldier of fortune. The whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you got and all you ever need is one bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your game, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Do or die, you're a mercenary. One of a kind that you're burning to carry. Go and make them proud, though it's necessary. Oh no, do or die, you're a mercenary. Now the whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act the fool. All you gotta one bullet in the chamber. Rain needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? One bullet in the chamber. Rain needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Now the whole world's watching every move. Still your heart so much to prove.
If it's Thursday, it's time for the Mystic Racing League. Welcome, race fans. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the Slingshot booth by Chris Smith and Johnny Rapp. Tonight, we're bringing you race number 23 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, live from the high banks and the beaches at Daytona for the Caswell Glass 250. Daytona sits in the heart of Florida, just a few miles away from the beaches where stock car racing was born. Since it opened back in 1959, it's been one of the most iconic venues in all of motorsports, a place where champions are crowned and the NASCAR history has been written lap after lap. The track was so ambitious in scale that engineers actually had to account for the curvature of the earth when they designed it. That famous 31-degree banking was actually carved out, and the dirt from it the dirt from Lake Lloyd, was used to build those corners, which still sits there right in the middle of the infield today. Most fans think of Daytona for the 500. But the very first race here was a 100-mile sports car event back in April of 1959. An 18-year-old Mario Andretti was even in the field, taking some of his first laps toward that legendary career. Later that year, Lee Petty won the inaugural Daytona 500, kicking off a tradition that would shape NASCAR's entire history. Through the years, this track has hosted some of the greatest sports rivalries, from Richard Petty and David Pearson to that wild 1979 Daytona 500 that pitted Petty against Cale Yarborough and brought NASCAR into the national spotlight on live TV. And just to give you an idea of how massive this place is in size, you could fit Churchill Downs, Yankee Stadium, the White House, and even the Roman Coliseum inside the infield, all at once, and still have room to spare. Chris, that is a lot of real estate for these drivers to navigate through tonight, and plenty of room for trouble. What are you watching early on for in this 100-lap race?
Well, Ellis, let's start right there. 100 laps, 250 miles, one of the longer races on the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series season. So you have to survive all 250 miles of this thing to even be around at the end to contend for the win. There are stage points on the line, so do you decide to ride at the back and forego those stage points and maybe try to, ensure yourself of being around at the end, or do you try to race up front and gobble up as many stage points as you possibly can all night tonight? We got 40 laps on a tank of fuel, 5 sets of tires in the pits, stage breaks at lap 30 and lap 60. Should be a very exciting night of Superspeedway racing at Daytona.
Lots of exciting stories we're going to be keeping an eye on tonight as qualifying begins. But before we look at those stories, before we look at the championship picture, it's time for everyone's favorite pre-race tradition. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your caps if able. We'll be right back on the other end of the national anthem. You are looking live at the Daytona International Speedway, which just in a few minutes is going to be host to race number 23 of the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. And with just 4 races remaining of the regular season, anything can happen. Points are a great example of that, Chris. Look at the playoff standings. There's still a lot to be decided. Only 4 drivers locked in. You've got 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, pretty comfortable on points. But then when you start looking at Zach White, when you start looking at Joshua Gillen, these are the bubble drivers, and even more so the drivers in red there. They're on the outside looking in. Tonight, is it their opportunity to get into the playoffs?
It definitely could be. This is an opportunity race that many have probably had circled on their calendars all season long. They know that this is a chance maybe for them. Maybe they don't have the same opportunity at all the other tracks, at some of the downforce tracks, the road courses that we go to. They feel like this is their best opportunity to punch their ticket and secure their spot in the playoffs.
It's going to be exciting to follow. Lots of aggressive moves yet to come tonight. And with that, let's talk about what it's going to take to get the job done and get in victory lane at the end of these 100 laps tonight, with some of the stories to follow. First of all, teamwork, Chris. You and I have been teammates on Superspeedway. They're absolutely critical and essential to race strategy. Why is it so important to have a friend by your side, or I should say behind you or in front of you?
Yeah, you can't really make any move at Daytona by yourself. You have to have somebody in front of you or somebody behind you to give you that drafting help that you need in order to advance forward and progress throughout the field. So that's something we're going to keep our eyes on all night. I have all the lists of all the teams right here in the Discord, so that's one thing I'm going to be keeping an eye on tonight, is all the partnerships.
And with all those partnerships, with all that bump drafting, you're just inches away from a mistake. The big one, as drivers and fans call it, could happen at any minute. A multi-car collision that could be the difference between finishing the race in one piece or ending up in the infield care center at the end of the night. Is there anything a driver can do to potentially avoid that inevitable crash?
It's very difficult. You can do some things to lower the chances of being caught up in it, but you're never completely safe around here. You know, being on the inside lane is a little bit safer than being in the middle or on the top, because you have an escape route to the bottom. Being at the front of the field is the best place to be, being in those maybe front row or two. And if you can't be in either one of those two places, I would try to venture onto the back. That's probably the next safest place to be.
And with all the talk of the crashes, one of the reasons for the big collision is drivers coming in contact with the rear or front bumpers of the drivers that they're trying to pass with runs. The draft is big, an essential, a critical part of racing here at Daytona, and drivers have to take advantage of it if they're going to get their way to the front. But when we talk about runs, you just can't pass anywhere on the track, can you, Chris?
No, and this track is actually pretty narrow, Ellis, compared to its sister Talladega, the sister track. So, yeah, you're going to have to be very careful about when you decide to try to make those passes. The yellow line will be a big story. It was a big story last night if you watch Mystic Racing League action, and it will possibly be a big story tonight as well about when you decide to make that pass. The yellow line rule is in effect, and you cannot pass, you cannot advance your position beneath that yellow line.
And drivers have been made well aware of that in the drivers meeting we listened into before the race starts tonight. Lastly, risk versus reward. We've kind of been alluding to this all pre-race, but Chris, if you're in the field, what are you telling your driver? You tell him to go early and get those positions. What do you want to do? Do you want to be up front, or do you want to be in the back?
I think that you have to play it by ear, Ellis. I think that if you're up there near the front, and you, especially if you are like on that bubble and you really need points, I think that a lot of drivers are going to possibly go for those stage points, try to finish in inside the top 5. But if you are banking on a win tonight, if you really need a win to secure your spot in the playoffs, might see some drivers fall to the back maybe at the end of these stages when it gets a little bit wild, when those stage points are on the line, and possibly make sure they're around at the end of this thing. Going to have a lot of different agendas tonight.
Lots of different agendas, lots of stories that we are going to be covering for you folks watching at home. Whether you're a fan of Slingshot Racing Media, or you're a fan of one of the drivers in the race, or you just like good racing and you're here for the first time tonight, folks, we appreciate you tuning in on YouTube Live. You got a chat feature. Make sure you let us know you're here in the chat. Just type hello, or tell us what driver you're going for tonight. Tell us, what your thoughts are on the race. Maybe some of the moves that the drivers have made. If you're, a fan of one driver and they're not doing great, root him on. You never know. That might transfer through the interwebs tonight. A little bit of luck, a little bit of mojo never hurt anybody. We're also giving away a Bubba Wallace diecast car tonight, 1/64th scale diecast. Bubba just won the Brickyard 400, and he is an extremely great plate racer, so tonight is a fitting night to give that away. All you have to do is be an active chatter in the race tonight in YouTube. Keep the chat going, interact with each other, let us know what you want to see, and you could win that Bubba Wallace diecast. We'll send it to you absolutely free. This is something we do weekly for our fans on our channel, so keep that chat going. Let's hear you. Send your friends over as well. Right now, drivers taking to the track after qualifying. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Caswell Glass 250 for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Pole winner Aaron Espy picked up an awesome win a couple of weeks ago at Iowa in that number 16. Can he carry the momentum on tonight in that number 16? Second's going to be Cody Giles, and I believe Aaron Espy actually might have gotten an EOL that will send him to the back of the pack. So he is going to be credited with the pole, but it's going to be Brad T. Nelson on the front row in that number 33 with Harold Tucker to his outside. Harold, a part-time racer, but we've seen him have speed. Keep an eye on that number 79. Gavin Henson, he's just, I feel like he's so close, Chris, in that number 39 to a win. Watch him tonight in 5th position. 6th is going to be the 6 of Ronnie Foster. 7th is going to be Alex Pollock, and I'm interested to watch driver number 24 on the outside of row 8. It's going to be Brett Wren. He's wearing a heart rate monitor tonight. You can already see it up there on the top right of the screen. Christian Barnes going to be coming from 9th, and then Jacob Cochran, who already picked up a win at Talladega back earlier this season in the 84, is going to be starting on the outside of row number 5.
And on the inside of row number 6, you got Zach White, with a great qualifying run. And on his outside, Reggie Kime in that number 9 machine starting in the 12th spot. David Moyer is going to roll off from the 13th spot in the 47. And Brandon Willard in that Hot Wheels car. We'll get a good look at that machine out there tonight. He's going to roll off in the 14th position. A newcomer right here, at least to the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, Toby Ritters is going to roll off from the 15th spot in the number 13. With Michael Cole, we saw him last week at Watkins Glen have some good speed. He's going to start 16th tonight. Derek Jewett is going to roll off from the 17th position. Have to see if maybe he can work together with some of his teammates. I was talking with them earlier before the race right here. Sounds like they got a good game plan together. And on his outside, Caleb Hunt going to try to redeem himself from what happened last night. On the inside of row number 10, you've got Andrew Shobe in that number 69 car. And on his outside, you got Andrew Allen, who did win last night.
It's 21st for Christopher Benning tonight in that watermelon machine. Joey Beam's going to be starting on the outside of row 11. 22nd, Josh Gillen's got a long way to come for the field tonight if he's going to pick up his first win of the season, starting 23rd. Alan Zukov, driver number 91, starts 24th. Stephen Gill in that black number 3 starts 25th. Gino Volante on his birthday of all days, starting 26th in the 35. Benjamin Gerhardt in the number 27, the number 1 will start 27th with Adam Holson in that 8, starting tail end of the field. 28-car field tonight, Chris. Lots of things can happen. 100 laps. This is a long race, and drivers are going to have to be patient. If history is an indicator of anything, though, last night, the Truck Series race got a little bit wild towards the final portions of the race, and it saw a lot of mayhem, and I'm curious, what do you think we're in store for tonight?
I think that's definitely a possibility as we get towards the end of this thing. With unlimited green-white checkers that you have to work with, it's definitely a chance for that to occur. So, but these drivers right here, we've seen them all season, Ellis. They're top-notch. They're just going all out for the win as they did last night, and I suspect we'll see the same thing. It's important to note, though, as we're coming to get the green flag here, that these Xfinity cars are very different than the trucks. The runs are not quite as big in these things, so maybe that will lead to a little bit more of a tame race.
Tame, Daytona usually don't go together, but we don't have to wait to find out. Pace car is off. Green flag waves over the field tonight for the first time at Daytona. We're racing, folks. Brad Nelson on that inside with a heaving help from the number 39 of Henson is going to be launched out front. The Soul car in the lead. Now it's a battle for second with the 5 of Jacob Cochran. The number 5 of Cody Giles. Now losing a couple of spots to Alex Pollock. Pollock and Christian Barnes not far behind. First two cars out cleanly. The battles for third down the backstretch.
Definitely the cars, the numbers are on that inside lane right there. Those two cars on the outside right there, Cody Giles and Ronnie Foster. Ronnie Foster's running really close to Cody Giles, which is enabling them to stay up there, but it's going to be difficult for them to be able to maintain the pace with that inside lane, just with the sheer number of cars that they have down there.
That outside line tried to make a move for a moment, and it gets a little bit of a momentum push off of turn number 4. Giles leading the way. Behind him, Ronnie Foster, but still no momentum, no going on the outside for the number 5 as they head down into turn 1. Brad Nelson on the inside. Here comes Giles, though, in that blue and white machine. He seems to have a run as he careens into turn number 1 with Gavin Henson to his inside.
Yeah, Cody Giles right there. Still got Ronnie Foster up behind him right there. What we're seeing so far, though, Ellis, is not a whole lot of pushing in the moment that I say that. Gavin Henson gives a push right there to Brad T. Nelson, but these guys are being very, very cautious with using the front bumpers to try to advance their line forward here in the early stages.
Lots of space being given as well, Chris. I'm just looking through the field right now. We've got 2x2 all the way from about 10th place on back, but there's at least a car length or car width and a half between each of those two cars in a row. So drivers really being cautious. I think admin and race control had a good talking with drivers in the pre-race drivers meeting. After last night was a chaotic race, they wanted to kind of calm it down. I think we're maybe seeing the effects of that bear fruit here right now as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, there's nothing like a race that maybe doesn't quite go the way that you and your series want it to go to sort of clean things up the following night right here. And we are starting to see some more organization right here on that top lane, Ellis, with Christian Barnes joining in on that outside lane right there. Fourth car back is Reggie Kime pulling up on these guys also. So starting to see some more energy in the top lane, but still plenty of room being given between the inside lane and the outside lane.
At the line, we have a battle for the lead for the first time tonight. The 5 of Cody Giles with the help. The number 6 of Ronnie Foster draws even with that number 33 of Brad Nelson, who's led all 3 laps tonight. Giles is going to have something to say about that as they come out of turn 2. It's 2x2x2x2. The first 4 rows with Reggie Kime getting a big run from behind.
And Ronnie Foster delivering a really good push right there. Kind of lays off of him right here as they start to approach turn 3 right here. But Reggie Kime, I'm sorry, that's actually Ronnie Foster in the number 6. Ronnie Foster proven to be a pretty good pusher. He's kind of kept himself and Cody Giles up there without much help. And now that they have the help, they're even more competitive on that outside lane.
One thing we haven't mentioned, Ronnie Foster running a part-time schedule in that 6. That's the case for at least a handful of drivers in the field tonight. This is the tightest racing we've seen. One car, that's Shobe to the inside. Another car down on the inside, a red car. Can't grab the number on that right now.
Toby Ritter's, I believe, in the number 13. Yeah, they got it all straightened out, but that definitely could have been disastrous.
And Derek Jewett, 3 wide down the backstretch. One car, the 30 of Henson, the 92 of Pollock. Down the backstretch through the bus stop of the road course. Puts us under yellow for the first time tonight. Both cars appear to go on unscathed unless they've got damage to the underneath part of their car. But boy, Chris, that could have been a lot bigger than it was.
It definitely could have been, and I don't think that you're going to see too much damage on either one of these machines, Ellis. We're going to try to, as our producer Johnny Rapp is going back in the replay right here, we're going to watch that 6 car on the outside right here. He gets a little bit sideways after some contact into the back of Cody Giles, and that sends Gavin Henson and Alex Pollock down there towards that infield grass right there. Pollock does connect with the inside retaining wall, but I don't think the damage is severe enough on that number 92 to take the fast repair. I think I'd hold on to that thing possibly for another crash that we might see later on, Ellis.
And you mentioned that fast repair, Chris. That is a tool these drivers have in their back pocket. If they get damaged, if they get involved in that big one, it's like a get out of jail free a mulligan. As we watch the replay right now, it shows you just how tight this racing was. And does that quick repair maybe have a role in how aggressive drivers might play it early on?
It's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't be a bit surprised at all if maybe drivers felt like they could possibly be a little bit more aggressive, considering they do have that quick repair in their back pocket. I think that crash right there was just the result of, just some bumper-to-bumper contact from behind. It's like Christian Barnes was really close to Ronnie Foster. Ronnie Foster was really close to Cody Giles. and just the contact front bumper to rear bumper just kind of got those guys all kinds of sideways.
I don't think we're going to see any pit stops right now. It might be a good opportunity to see if we can't pull a driver into the broadcast booth. Let's see. I'm looking through who we've got in the Discord right now. I'm wondering if, what do you think we should do, Chris? Who do you think we should pull in? Reggie Kime?
Reggie Kime might be good. I think he was not too far behind those guys when that happened.
Yeah, he's in race chat number 1. We'll bring him in here.
Nothing in the last one.
Oh, Reggie, this is Ellis and Chris in the broadcast booth. You got a copy on that number 9 car?
Yes, sir.
Well, you had an up front and personal view of what just transpired down the backstretch here on lap number 6. Talk to us about how that number 9 machine's handling and how it's felt out there the first 5 laps or so.
It's been pretty good so far. It's just, getting the draft up in front of me and pulling up on the front row, or to the front rows up.
How big are those runs that these cars are getting out there?
It took a little while because most of the guys went down low because not many people wanted to be on the top lane until the 27 jumped back up in front of me. So,
Okay, so you get the sense that maybe there's a little bit more energy, a little bit more people who are willing to be up top now that they've seen it can work?
Hopefully so. I mean, I prefer some guys just try to run up top. I mean, it runs pretty good on the top line, but just got to have enough people to be comfortable enough to run the top side.
All right, man. Well, we'll let you get back to it. Long way to go tonight. Good luck. Stay locked in, Reggie.
Thanks. You guys have a good night also.
Thank you.
Nellis, while we were talking to Reggie Kime, we did get some word from race control that crash that we just saw will not result in an EOL for the number 6 of Ronnie Foster. I think race control is going to chalk that up as a racing deal.
And that is the nature of the beast here at Daytona. Close quarters, high speeds, nearing 200 miles an hour. Those sorts of things are bound to happen. Right now, if you're just tuning in, lap number 7 of 100 for race number 23 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. We're under caution for the first time. You got Brad T. Nelson, who sat on the essentially the pole, starting in that number 33 car from the front row. He's the leader. Cody Giles is second. Ronnie Foster, we see running third. Christian Barnes in 4th, and Reggie Kime, as we mentioned, is running in the 5th. Right now, the choose rule, drivers have to decide whether they're going to take the outside or the inside on that restart, and it seemed like the inside might have been a popular line here, Chris.
I was going to say, Ellis, I think that most people decided that they wanted to take that bottom lane. I think I saw, a pretty overwhelming majority of the drivers go for the bottom lane, and I'm not surprised at all that that's the case. That was their decision. Based upon some of the racing that we saw early on right there, it seemed like everybody kind of wanted to flock towards the bottom early on. That is by far the best place to be if you are in the pack to miss a crash.
Got lots of fans in the chat right now as we get ready for this restart. Just shout outs to everyone who's joined in. We got Connor. Connor, how you doing, my friend? We're glad you are here. Hope you're having a good week. AJ Hale in here. We appreciate AJ coming back. Joshua Gillen, as always, he's out there right now. Ryder Faze is in here. Ricky LaFleur is back. Alice Allen is back. So many people returning to the chat tonight at Daytona. If you haven't joined in the chat, remember, you got a chance to win a Bubba Wallace diecast 1/64th scale by being an active chatter. Let's keep that thing going. Also, send a link to some friends. Text the link to them. If you're watching on your phone, send it their way. Let's pack this thing out and set a record for how many live viewers we have cheering on these drivers tonight. They're rounding turn 3 and 4. Brad Nelson's going to be on the inside, Chris. The number 5 of Cody Giles on the outside. I'm curious to see. We just talked about drivers kind of shying away from that outside, but by the end of that run right there, before that caution, that outside line was making hay. So, me personally, I always want to be on the inside because I've got an escape hatch if the big one happens, more so than you would on the outside. But these drivers hoping that big one doesn't happen anytime soon. Pace car is going to peel off. Nelson is going to be your restart leader, waiting for that Geico restart zone. He's in it. He mashes the throttle early. He goes. He has at least a 2-car lead over Cody Giles in the 5. The battle's for second with Ronnie Foster in that black and blue Ford. Looking to the inside, Giles closes the door. Now, Foster has the number 27 of Christian Barnes to his outside, but not much organization beyond the first 2 as they head down into turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, some big gaps right there, especially on the inside lane, and that enabled Cody Giles to get down there underneath. So not a lot of pushes can be given right here. Cody Giles has gotten to the rear bumper of the number 33, Brad T. Nelson. Now that outside lane is starting to form right there. Christian Barnes has a good run to the outside of the 6 of Ronnie Foster for third, and he's got Reggie Kime behind him.
Kime and Cochran, help is on the way for Christian Barnes. Cochran says, oh, I might take it 3 wide. He thinks better of it. Lifts out of the throttle right behind Reggie Kime there. That was a close call. Kime now tucked in behind Barnes as they get ready to cross the line for the 10th time tonight. Barnes looks to go to the outside, but Cody Giles in that 5 jumps up, seizes the opportunity, saw the momentum. The 5 of Giles now leads the race for the first time tonight. The race is on down into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, Christian Barnes with a good push right there to the back of Cody Giles. Cody Giles saw that run coming on the top lane right there and said, I want that push. I want that momentum on my rear bumper. And right now they've got a slight lead over that inside lane, but the inside lane has some pretty good organization down there, Ellis.
Right now, it's the 33 of Brad Nelson. Evasive move by the 5 of Cody Giles to duck down in front of that 33 that did have the momentum. I'm interested to see. Giles looks like he wants to lead this race for as many laps as possible.
Oh, here we go.
Christian Barnes and Brad Nelson say, hey, I don't think so, buddy. They put him in the middle of a sandwich, and he's in no man's land right there, getting passed by now 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. The 5 of Giles is going to have to find a place to slot in line, Chris.
Yeah, and I think Christian Barnes right there maybe recognized that maybe it's a little too early for that. That's kind of the danger, Ellis, I think, of working both sides of the street, like what Cody Giles was trying to do. He was trying to, follow where the momentum was coming and block the lane that was coming at him right there. And I think that when you do that, sometimes you open it up for you to maybe possibly get put middle of 3 wide right there. But he's found himself back in a good position right here, leading the outside lane with a good push from the 27 of Barnes.
Barnes lays a push to the back of the number 5. You can see the impact it has on the number 5 is it sends that 5 sailing forward. Big move, big run for the number 5 with the help of Christian Barnes. Kime's not far behind. They're passing on the outside, climbing the banking. Brad Nelson, the number 6 of Ronnie Foster, still on the inside, and they draw back even, Chris. It's a story of a rubber band, back and forth, back and forth. We've seen that so far, and I think we're probably not done seeing it tonight as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, about 5-6 lanes back right there. You got Aaron Espy looking to the outside. Oh, now you got Derek Jewett maybe looking up the middle as well. These guys are flirting with 3 wide, like they're thinking about it, like they want to. That is the best way. I mean, when you're back there where they're at, Ellis, you can't really make up any ground. Where are you going to go? The only option you really have is to, form that 3rd lane either on the outside or up the middle.
Testing the waters, as they say. Some cars looking to go 3 wide. Right now you saw Derek Jewett jump to the inside. Derek sitting back in the number 15th position. He's a driver, Chris, that needs a win tonight to lock himself into the playoffs. We kind of talked about in pre-race the different mentalities that we're seeing from different drivers, different strategies going on in this race. You can already see the drivers kind of falling back to the back. Harold Tucker being one of those. Andrew Show, we know he had trouble early. Joshua Gillen, several drivers comfortable riding in the back right now, while other drivers like Cody Giles in that number 5, they want to be up front. So it's kind of a tale of 2 different races. Producer Johnny, where do you want to be if you are in this race right now? Are you want to be up front or you want to be in the back?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's one or the other. You either want to be up front leading this thing and trying to control it, or you want to be in the back, maybe just at the tail end of this lead pack on the bottom, so you can avoid anything, any chaos that ensues in front of you.
Well, man, I feel like chaos is ahead of us tonight. Right now, the calm before the storm, perhaps, as Brad Nelson continues to lead. But just as we say that, Giles and Barnes make another run on the outside down into turn number 3. They've got Kime, Cochran, and now Adam Holston in that number 8 machine pulled up as the 5th car in line on the outside. Lots of energy building on the outside line, but they lose a little bit of organization. Cody Giles, the Pied Piper, that outside line right now, and they just can't seem to get clear of that 33. They can run about even, Chris, but they can't seem to really get the job done and gain more than a car length or so on that outside.
Yeah, I've seen it as Ronnie Foster gets a little bit loose right there, the number 6 machine on the inside. I've seen Christian Barnes sort of peeking that nose out to the outside right there. You kind of saw it right there at turns 1 and 2. I think he's trying to get some cool air to the nose of that Ford Mustang. And that's another thing that we really haven't talked about too much tonight is with all this pushing, all this bump drafting, you are closing up that grill, and you are causing that water temperature, that oil temperature to increase the longer that you stay tucked up behind that driver in front of you. So, I kind of like where Christian Barnes is at as compared to Ronnie Foster, just because when I'm on the outside, Ellis, I feel like I got more options to cool it down, whereas, Ronnie Foster, he might feel like his only option maybe is just to back off a little bit.
And right now, it's just another thing for drivers to manage on top of looking out front, looking in the rear view mirror, looking out the sides of the car, listening to their spotter, now have to worry about the temperatures of their car. This is no easy task to drive a car anywhere, but certainly at a super speedway going nearly 200 miles an hour into the corner. It's 2x2x2x2. One stack up, that looked like it was the 64 of Christopher Benning, just a little bit further back in the pack. Send a couple cars to the outside, but all is well back there right now. They've got it sorted out, and that's really been the story of the night so far. Drivers getting runs, maybe bumping each other just a little bit of contact leading to getting cars out of shape. Boy, right now, big push for Cody Giles coming from Christian Barnes out front. That's a battle for the lead. But drivers have shown a lot of discretion and caution tonight in a way that maybe we're not used to seeing on restrictor plates.
Yeah, they're doing a really nice job. I like the pushing that I'm seeing, though, in that second row from both those drivers. I'm not seeing a lot of pushing on the left rear, which is really what gets these cars out of shape, Ellis, is when you sort of get off center, especially to the left rear. They're doing a really nice job of keeping things straight. I think Cody Giles has a good rhythm right there of where he's peeking out to get some clean air on the nose right there. Ronnie Foster is staying tucked up really close behind Brad T. Nelson, and that's keeping this thing as neck and neck as what it is right here, the fact that you got two good pushers right there in the second row.
Now, one thing that fans will notice as they watch right now live, they're going to notice that the front two rows of cars are pretty close, but as you move through the field a little bit further, drivers are giving a little bit more distance. Why is that? Why can those first couple of rows push, but beyond that, drivers are kind of laying off a little bit?
Well, Ronnie Foster and Christian Barnes both know that there's nothing in front of the cars that are in front of them. So, they can push them, as far out and as hard as they really need to. If you're Caleb Hunt or Brett Wren or Reggie Kime, Jacob Cochran, these guys right here, there's no sense in really bump drafting the car in front of you. Where are you going to push them? They've got cars in front of them. So it's very counterproductive to try to push a car when you are that far back in the pack. That and, with the cars that are in the pack, Ellis, they're also moving around a little bit more also, just with the turbulent air and with all the other vehicles around them. They have to make more movement. And so if you try to push a driver that is moving the wheel a little bit more than maybe these leaders are, you can get that car in trouble very quickly.
I'm curious, producer Johnny, you think we can do an on-board ride with Brett Wren while we watch his heart rate in that third row on the inside and see exactly what it looks like from the driver's eye view? He gets a little bit loose there. A little bit of a gap opens up between him. One car, Cody Giles, Christian Barnes loose. Stack up, cut to the wall. 84 Cochran, Holston. White down to the apron. Can they hold on to it? Several cars out of shape. Be careful as they move through the trial of four wide. We're going to have a caution here. There it is. The white into the wall. Bidding as well, several cars. Knights get a little bit haywire here. Knights going wrong for about 4 or 5 cars here on lap number 20. Chris, that one was one that was brewing for at least a corner or two.
Yeah, that was one that you didn't think that you thought they were going to possibly be able to save it. And that started up there near the front. I think it started off turn 4 with Jacob Cochran possibly in the number 84. And then things kind of escalated from there. It looks like some contact between Aaron Espy, David Moyer, turned Espy down into Zach White. That's Christopher Benning. That's Adam Holson right there. They're getting caught up in it. That was kind of the aftermath of what transpired, I think, up in turns 3 and 4, back around where Jacob Cochran was located. I was watching Cochran, and I think it was the number 9 of Reggie Kime, Ellis. I think they made some contact in turns 3 and 4. Yeah, here's Cochran right here. Johnny's got it keyed up for us. Yeah, he's right behind. Yeah, so a little bit of a stack up right there. He gets into Reggie Kime. Reggie does a nice job of not overreacting. Jacob Cochran does a nice job of not overreacting. Zach White goes to the inside right there, and Zach holds onto it. They all hold onto it, Ellis. There's a lot of cars that shot to the inside right there, but they all did a great job. And then here, everybody's just kind of all out of sorts right there. And there's the contact right there to David Moyer into the left rear of Aaron Espy, and that's going to hook Zach White around into the wall. But the good news, Ellis, these drivers have a fast repair.
They do have that get out of jail free card, and I have a feeling some are going to be using it here on lap number 21 as our second caution of the night flies. Collision between at least 4 or 5 cars that started further up towards the front. I think we might see some pit stops here, Chris. We're on lap number 21. What do we say our fuel window was for tonight? How long can these drivers make it on a tank of gasoline?
These drivers can make it 40 laps right here as we watch Joey Beam do a really nice job of navigating his way through all that carnage. These drivers can go about 40 laps. That's going to be extended a little bit further, Ellis, though, with the with the cautions that we've had at this stage of the race. So I suspect that you'll probably see a mixed bag of agendas right here. We know that we're going to have a caution fly again at lap 30 or at the conclusion of lap 30. We'll have to see.
Several cars on pit road. One car, Benjamin Gerhardt, overshot his pit as we watch the number 6 of Ronnie Foster in his pit stall right now. Another task that these drivers have to manage and pull off with perfection on pit road right now. But yeah, you mentioned stage 1 ends in just about 9 laps or so. Drivers going to be able to certainly make it to the end of the stage. And we saw most of the top half of the field elect to stay out on the track. At least I would say the top 10 stayed out there. A couple sprinkled in, maybe came in, but the first car came in. It looks like it's hard to tell. Maybe Andrew Allen, Aaron Espy. We know he got a little bit of damage in that crash. Working the second caution of the night. You see some of the collateral damage from this collision. Race number 23 of the season. Just 4 races left in the regular season for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series before we move on to the playoffs. Tonight's one of those wild card races that every single driver who's not locked in, Chris, had circled on their calendar. It's a night. It's a track where anything can happen under the lights. And we're going to see a lot of drivers we already have that haven't made it to victory lane and maybe, quite frankly, don't often run inside the top 10, having great runs tonight. So we might be sitting on an upset, a Cinderella story, an underdog. Let us know in the chat who you think is going to win this race. Ricky LaFleur in the chat saying the 8 cannot catch a break. Can't disagree, or I cannot disagree with that. Connor Lyons in the chat says it's like the first Xfinity Series race all over again, this time different driver on iRacing because it's 100 laps. We got some Kime fans in the chat. We got Joshua Gillen saying he's going to win the race. Joshua, you might have a chance tonight, my friend. You got some speed in that car. Stay out of trouble. You never know what might happen at the end of these 100 laps. If you're watching live right now and you haven't subscribed to Slingshot Racing TV, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It doesn't cost you a single thing, but it gets you access to every single live race that we broadcast. We just finished up 2 seasons for Spark Racing League. We've got a couple more seasons that'll be starting up in 3 weeks or so, where we'll have 3 or 4 nights of racing going again. So make sure you are subscribed. We're so close to 1,000, by the way, Chris. You know, we're 984 subscribers. We're almost to 1,000. That's a big deal for us, at least, and every one of you who's contributed to that. We cannot be more grateful. Right now, pace car lights are out as they work their way down the backstretch. Chris, we're 23 laps into this thing. What are you telling your driver a quarter of the way through the race if they made it through the race cleanly so far? Let's say you're a driver like Derek Jewett. You're on the playoff bubble. You're sitting in 8th position. How are you coaching Derek right now?
I'm telling him to keep his eyes peeled right here in the final closing laps of this thing. I would really like to not get my car tore up this early. You know, we mentioned it in the pre-race, Ellis. This is a long race, 100 laps, 250 miles at Daytona. There's plenty of opportunities to get yourself tore up. There is the fast repair in your back pocket, but we can always count on them. We kind of consider it a given, don't we, that there's going to be some mayhem at the end of this thing. So I wouldn't want to throw away that fast repair early on. I'm not saying that you're throwing it away, but I would want to save it. I don't want to keep it in my back pocket for later. So I'm telling him to keep his eyes peeled right here in the early stages. If you have to sacrifice some stage points to be around at the end of the thing and possibly win it, I think that's probably a very useful strategy.
I think that's good advice from the crew chief on top of the pit box right now. Brad Nelson's at the top of the field. He's going to be the leader on this restart. It's going to be on him to hit that throttle in the Geico restart zone. We're under green flag conditions once again here at Daytona. Nelson great on the restart tonight. Once again gets a nice little lead built up, at least a car length cushion over the second row, which is now Cody Giles and Brett Wren for the first time up to second place. Big momentum from that second row. Who's going to take advantage of it? It looks like Brett Wren is kind of boxed in and can't go anywhere. Cody Giles, with the help of Caleb Hunt and Jacob Cochran, not far behind. That outside line's got some momentum.
It definitely does, Ellis. So talk about that inside row right there with Brett Wren pushing Brad T. Nelson. That inside row is full of opportunity drivers. Drivers trying to earn their way into the playoffs right there. I see 5, 6, 7 cars right there on that inside lane, all lined up together, looking to get their first win of the season.
And right now, some of them are just trying to get a stage win and get those points that could propel them into a higher playoff position, a playoff standing. You got 5 laps or so away from the end of stage 1 at lap number 30. It's dead even at the front of the field. Cody Giles on the outside, Brad T. Nelson in that white and blue number 33 on the inside. They climb the banking at Daytona. Oh, Giles is loose. A little bit of a bump gone bad from Caleb Hunt in that number 78, who's also got Cochran breathing down his neck. That inside line looks like they're being a little bit more cautious right now than that outside line.
They definitely are being a little bit more cautious, trying to take it a little bit more easy right there. While this is going on, Ellis, we do have a secondary pack that's riding a little bit further back if our producer Johnny Rapp wants to go side by side right here. We do have Aaron Espy, we got Zach White, we got Toby Ritters, we got a lot of drivers that are just chilling back here, Ellis, trying to survive to the end of this stage right here. So, because they suspect there might be some mayhem in the final laps of this thing.
I think based on what we saw on lap 21, that's not a bad hypothesis. Right now, you see single file on the bottom right hand of the screen, that breakaway pack that's kind of sitting back, maybe waiting for the big one, while on the top left of your screen, these drivers are throwing caution to the wind. Too wide, about 8, 9 rows deep. It's that outside line that once again gets the run off of turn 2. It's the Hunt machine, that 78 black and teal car that pushes Cody Giles and that number 5 to the front, now clear by a car length. Will Giles try to close the door on Nelson? The answer to that question is no as they exit turn number 4. Brett Wren looking to see if he can get to the back bumper, the number 33 of Nelson, to lend a helping hand, but he just can't seem to get close right now. Hunt seems to be able to get a lot closer to the back bumper as he gives a push to the number 5 of Giles as they climb the banking. I should say go down the banking down into turn 1.
Yeah, Cody Giles waited on his wingman right there. He waited on Caleb Hunt. He recognized the push from that 78 as the one that got him in good position to get up there, and he waited for... Oh, we got trouble off turn 2.
Wren, one car time. Jewett also involved. It's going to keep us under green flag conditions. Race director holding off on that caution flag right now, but 3 cars in trouble. Jewett looks to have continued on, but Wren and the 24 and Kime in the 9 had issues there. We are still green flag racing. It ruins, at least for now, a good run on the part of Kime and Wren. 2 drivers who are on the playoff bubble looking to race their way in with a win tonight. They just added to their work if they're going to get that job done. But back up front, Cody Giles in that number 5 with 3 laps to the conclusion of stage number 1 leads Caleb Hunt and Christian Barnes on the inside. It's that number 33 that you can see on the top left-hand side out the back door of that number 5 of Cody Giles as this field continues to get tighter and tighter down the backstretch.
We're going to keep our eyes on this battle right here for the stage win. We'll go back and watch what happened later right here. But yeah, Caleb Hunt is proving himself to be a really good pusher, Ellis. And the moment that those two cleared the bottom lane, they moved down right there, and Brad T. Nelson swapped with them, went up to the top right here, and now he's trying to lead his way, lead that top lane right back up to the lead.
A little bit of a Freaky Friday moment. It's only Thursday, but those two drivers just swapped roles, swapped positions. High line to bottom line to high line. Nelson now on the outside, getting help from Jacob Cochran in that white and blue machine. Henson, it seems like he was having trouble just a few laps ago, has climbed his way back up to the 8th position. It's that momentum on the outside that carries Cody Giles with now in front of the number 33 of Brad Nelson. Giles wants this stage win, and he's willing to take whatever lane it's going to take to get there.
Yeah, Giles right now working both sides of the street, trying to make sure that both of these lanes right here, neither one of them can get a run on him. So if he sees the momentum coming from one of them, he will jump up in front of them as we're coming to just one lap to go right here in stage 1.
White flag flies on stage 1, lap number 30. It's Giles, Hunt, then Christian Barnes and Brad T. Nelson on that 3rd row. Cochran and Henson are the 4th row. It's all Giles right now, single file up front. Now 2nd single file. Nelson doesn't seem to have the help on the outside line if he's going to get the job done. Hunt makes the maneuver down the back stretch, takes him high in front of Nelson, seizes the opportunity. Now Hunt dead even with the number 5 of Cody Giles as they head down into turn 3.
Now, Caleb Hunt right here, he might have the momentum right here off of turn 4 right here, but the push is on the bottom with Christian Barnes into the back bumper of Cody Giles.
Christian Barnes delivers the push of the race so far, but he's not satisfied with 2nd place. Barnes is going to try to get the stage win, and at the line, it's going to be Barnes, then Giles, and then Hunt. Caution flag in stage number 1, and boy, Chris, I did not see that move from the number 27 happen until it was already done. Talk about waiting till the last minute, but it gets the job done. Christian Barnes going to pick up that stage win.
Yeah, what a great job by Christian Barnes using the momentum right there, that he generated by delivering the push to Cody Giles. An excellent job by the driver of the 27. Johnny Rapp, if we want to go side by side right here, we can take a look back at that deal that happened right here off of turn 2. We're going to watch right here the number 24. That's the Fall Creek Plumbing machine right there of Brett Wren. Wren is in that 24 right there, and yeah, he runs into a little bit of trouble right there off turn 2. A little bit of a stack-up effect right there. Reggie Kime into the back bumper right there of Brett Wren. Those drivers spin to the inside right there, but I don't think there's a lot of damage to either one of them, so they're going to soldier on right here, Ellis.
Looks like everyone is going to soldier on, at least for now. They do have that quick repair that they've got the option to use. Some drivers have already used that over the course of these first 30 laps. But if you're just joining us, we are under caution, and it is it's not a naturally occurring caution. It is the end of stage number 1. There are 3 stages in race number 24 here for the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Christian Barnes just picked up the stage win, trying to earn those points to build a cushion in the playoff standings that are just 4 races away. Right now, looking to see if these drivers are going to be making their way down pit road. I would imagine we're looking at drivers like Cody Giles, Caleb Hunt. And I will say, Christian Barnes pitted just 10 laps ago. So I don't think he has to come down pit road unless he wants to get back on that same strategy as those other leaders who have not come down pit road. Henson's kind of in the same situation with Alex Pollock back in 9th position. About 3 drivers in the top 10 already came down pit road earlier.
Yeah, I think that, it might be a little bit of a mixed bag right here. Those drivers might have felt like, hey, they're in good shape to make it to the end of stage 2. That's a very interesting call right there. I'm a little surprised to see Cody Giles and Caleb Hunt stay out, Ellis, because those drivers haven't been to pit road yet. And by our fuel calculations that we have, there's no way they can make it to stage 2. So, everybody but the top 3 coming to pit road.
I'm interested to know if maybe they think that a caution might come out. I can't really think of any better way to find out than to get one of these drivers in the broadcast booth right now. Maybe we can pull in Cody Giles or Caleb Hunt and see kind of what maybe they're thinking here. Let me look through our audio channels to see if we can't grab one of these drivers. Let's get Cody Giles in here from race chat number 1. Cody Giles, it's Ellison, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. Does driver number 5 have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, well, you led 8 laps so far tonight. That number 5 hot rod looks like it's got some speed and drafting ability right now, running in 2nd position. First of all, I want to kind of jump to the story here. You didn't come down pit road. By our calculations, you got 33 laps that you've used to fuel. What's the strategy call here?
Actually, I kind of messed up. I thought the 27 pit was going to pit there, and I just got told that he was on a different strategy. So now I got to come back down and just get fuel, no tires or anything like that. So we're going to be in the rear on an EOL. So different strategy. So not going to start up front, but definitely going to start in the rear.
Are you going to try to work your way through it pretty early?
We're going to try to, but I'm not going to be too aggressive. May need to get aggressive a little bit at the end of the stage just to kind of get up there for the final stage. So that's going to be the strategy going forward unless things change.
What has the atmosphere and the energy been like there out on the track?
Not too chaotic like the truck race was last night. It's basically more tamer. So, you know, it's definitely different in terms of racing. The racing is more calmer. It's definitely got a lot of action packed, you know, very close quarters racing from, you know, 1st to 11th. So it's definitely different from last night in the truck series.
Well, man, we'll be keeping an eye out for that number 5 moving through the field here in just a lap or so. Good luck. We're going to send you back to, I believe, Race Chat 1. Does that sound right to you?
Yes, sir.
All right, good luck. Cody Giles.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
All right, so you heard Chris. I don't envy his position right now. He's going to have to be working his way through the field from the back after leading a quarter or so of the race tonight. Getting ready here, if you're just joining us on YouTube, getting ready for the restart here at Daytona. Stage 1 is complete. We're transitioning into stage number 2 under the lights here at Daytona. Christian Barnes is going to be on the inside of the front row starting. He's going to be the control car on this restart, Chris, starting in that number 27 car to his outside. Joshua Gillen as well, who's on that same fuel strategy. Shout out to Josh Gillen. He mentioned he can type and race at the same time. He thinks he's going to win. Brett Wren, big news alert from Brett Wren in the chat. My dang engine blew from overheating. Chris, we talked about it early in the race. It looks like it's claimed its first victim. It's hard to manage that here.
It is, and I wonder where the loss of momentum was down on the inside. It honestly looked like he had run out of fuel. It happened really fast, and I didn't think that was a possibility. That's heartbreak for Brett Wren, and definitely a real possibility for more drivers as this race goes on.
Had a really good run going in that number 24 machine. He'll be back next week, though, as he looks to race his way into the playoffs. Right now, we're getting ready to race again. Pace car makes that left turn down into pit road. The Domino's machine of Christian Barnes is hungry for a win. Not sure if he's hungry for pizza, but he's going to be starting here from the lead. Restart is underway. The 27 with a big jump. The number 6 of Ronnie Foster is going to draw to the back bumper. He was the benefactor of a big old hole that opened up there. That number 6 is now into second place. Joshua Gillen is that car on the outside. That number 10, that teal Ford Mustang. It's a Ford Mustang or a Camaro. I can't see it from my angle, but it's a bright blue number 10. You can't miss it. He's got Alex Pollock in that number 92 lined up right behind him, and that's a nice-looking paint scheme.
Yeah, Joshua Gillen's got that number 10 SpongeBob SquarePants machine right there going for the lead right here, Ellis. I just wanted to find a way to squeeze SpongeBob into the broadcast somehow. But yeah, he's fighting really hard for the lead right there. Took advantage of the choose when no driver wanted the outside, and here he is right here trying to use that push from Alex Pollock to take the lead.
Gillen with a big push from Pollock on that outside line. Isn't able to draw even with the lead, at least not yet. But here comes the run for the number 10. They set sail down into turn number 1. It's the 10 of Gillen being pushed by the 92 of Pollock. On the inside, it's the bright blue machine of Christian Barnes with a big helping hand from the number 6 of Ronnie Foster. And for the time being, that inside line seems to be the place to be. Andrew Schob now up to the 5th position. Third car on the inside line. Schob really with a big old drive, Chris. 14 positions that 69 car has gained during the race so far in these first 36 laps.
Yeah, good push right there from the 92 of Pollock right there to get Joshua Gillen right back up there. Almost side by side. Yes, he is side by side for the lead right here as they work their way into the tri-oval right here. Seeing some good So, some really smart pushing right here so far tonight by these drivers. Not seeing anything very egregious. Everybody's doing a really nice job of trying to keep everything straight right there. As, we've had a lot of the same players up here near the front all night right here with Barnes, Foster, and Nelson. But some new players right here with Pollock and Gillen.
Pollock and Gillen, that outside line doing tango at 200 miles an hour. And right now, they're making it work. Brad T. Nelson's going to make it a trio up top on that. Oh, caution is out. Might have been the 45 of Jewett. It wasn't actually, maybe the 03 of Stephen Gill. I'm looking to see who brought this caution out here on lap number 37.
Yeah, I'm looking through right here to see.
Not seeing anything grabbing my attention right away. We might have missed something, but looking for that replay, potentially what brought out this caution on lap number 38, maybe keying in on Adam Holston here, as well as I believe that might be the 41 of Joey Beam.
Yeah, I'm trying to listen to the, drivers are asking what the caution was for. And, yeah, I'm not quite sure what it's for right here. I know that they are asking for a reason for it, but no word yet, I don't think, from race control.
Well, you know what we can do? We can bring Brandon Willard in from, he's admin. He surely knows what this caution for. It's going to bring him into the broadcast booth. See if we can't figure out what happened. Hey, Brandon Willard, this is Ellis and Chris and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Hey, man, we're just got a couple questions for you. First of all, how is it right now on the track? What's the energy like out there? It seems to be, intensity seems to be picking up a little bit.
It's definitely, I ain't gonna say wild yet. I don't think it's gotten to that point, but it's picking up. You know, these guys are racing hard, and they're gonna do that from lap 1 all the way to the end of the race. But I think a lot of guys, including myself, are kind of riding back and just being conservative, and some guys want to set the tempo and kind of lead the pack and lead those lines and be kind of the controlling ones, if you will. But it's going to change, and some strategies will work, some won't, and that's product of super speedway racing. We'll see which ones pays off.
Well, man, we thought if anyone knew what that caution was for, it might be you. Any word on why we're under yellow right now?
I think race control said the button accidentally went off. I don't know if they hit it or iRacing hit it or something. It was just a mishap, but iRacing has the hiccups every now and then. I don't think it was any of our guys. Usually I'm the one in race control, so but I don't get to run many of these races anymore. So but like I said, it was just a hiccup, so hopefully we can get back to some good green flag racing and finish the stage out.
Roger that. We'll be looking forward to it. Brandon Willard, we're going to send you back to Race Chat 1. Good luck the rest of the way tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, so you heard it. Maybe a phantom caution has put us under yellow for the third time tonight here on lap 39. Drivers working around caution number 3. Joshua Gillen scored as your leader. I know he doesn't mind seeing the caution. Just gives him more time out front right now. Hey, speaking of out front, let us know what driver you're rooting for to be out front and get that win tonight. We got a Bubba Wallace diecast giveaway going right now. If you're watching on your phone or your computer or your TV, I promise there's a chat option. Get in there, say hi, let us know you're here, whether you're a longtime viewer or you're here for the first time. Someone maybe sent you. Let us know what you think of the racing you're seeing, who you're rooting for, reacting to anything that happens on the track. Let's keep that chat going. And right now, I'm curious to throw a question out to the chat. Who's the best super speedway racer ever? Who's the best super speedway racer ever? Give us your best answer in the chat. Last names are fine. Who is the best super speedway racer ever in NASCAR all time? Who do you think is the best? Get that in the chat right now. And we'll be looking forward to reading some of your answers here as drivers work their way around the track. Now the front straightaway should be getting the one to go here. If we have not already done so, we have. Looks like pace cars turn those lights off. It's going to be Gillen. What do you make of him taking that outside line? Is that a sign that maybe that 10 car is comfortable up there?
Yeah, I definitely think that's a possibility. And maybe there's a little bit of possible communication going on between both Gillen and Barnes, Ellis. Maybe those guys feel like they work really well together. And maybe they're, decided they're going to team up right there. So a lot of times, yeah, you'll decide to choose the lane based upon the driver that you like to work with.
Man, Gillen has had just to feature a spotlight driver number 10 for a minute. 17 races run this season. His average finishes continue to climb over the last 4 or 5 race stretch. Watkins Glen finished 12th. Iowa came home with a 10th. Before that, we were at Indianapolis. He finished 9th there. 9th at Nashville the week before. 7th at Charlotte. So this is a driver that really had some big ups and downs the first half of the season. But as we've inched our way through this summer, driver number 10, look out. This is a driver that could make a legitimate playoff push and maybe kind of, putting that out there tonight. That number 10 having a good run, that confidence has got to do wonders for you with consistency out on the track.
Yeah, it definitely does. And this race right here, it does a lot to, sort of bring that confidence, especially if you've had a rough few weeks. So, this is a great opportunity for a lot of drivers. I'm looking up there at the front right there, Ellis, and I see Christian Barnes up there. I know he's a past race winner as the pace car is going to make the turn right here to turn off and onto pit road. And we're going to come to the green flag.
Pace car off, green flag in the air. It's going to be Gillen who maybe staggers the field just a little bit late into that throttle, late in the restart zone, but it's going to do wonders for him. That 10 car gets about at least a 2-car length. And sorry, I thought we had a caution out for a second. I saw a message pop up in the chat, but Gillen is that lead car, that number 10. Now the 6 of Ronnie Foster draws in behind him. He's going to bring Alex Pollock along for the ride, but that outside line off at turn 2, led by Christian Barnes and Brad Nelson, gets a whale of a run. The 10 car of Gillen off the pace down the back straightaway. Not sure what is going on here with Gillen. Maybe just looking to get back in the back of the pack, sensing maybe what is coming here. Reminder, stage number 2 ends at lap 60. That's in about 19 laps, so he's got a ways to go. Not sure what's going on with that number 10 car, but back up front, Christian Barnes is your leader, and he's got 15 cars lined up behind him who want to change that. And for the first time tonight, Derek Jewett into the top 5. That 45 car who's come so close to wins this season yet is yet to score one. That 45 trying to stake his claim on that win tonight on the outside with help from Gavin Henson, another driver trying to win his way into the playoffs. And they've got Stephen Gill right behind them.
Yeah, and we saw Gavin Henson backwards in the grass on the backstretch earlier in this race with Alex Pollock, and both those drivers have recovered nicely right up here. We saw Pollock earlier challenging for the lead, and now here's Henson trying to lead that outside lane.
That outside line trying to gather some energy and put together a run. It's Henson, Gill, Kime back up in the 3rd row now. And then the one of Benjamin Gerhardt, who had trouble on pit road earlier, is up to the 9th position on the outside. So multiple strategies kind of bearing fruit here up front. We've seen some cars that have been in trouble or further back in the field. Jewett, one of those, leads Christian Barnes. It's a 2-car breakaway. Barnes now to the outside with a move similar to one he made to end and win stage number 1. He's going to bring Henson and Gill and Kime along with them. The energy shifts to the outside line.
Yeah, that energy is with the top lane right there as, Christian Barnes is going to dive back to the bottom lane right there. Put his rear bumper right in front of the front bumper of Derek Jewett on that outside lane. As the push from I think that's the 0-1, the 0-3 of Stephen Gill to the back bumper of Gavin Henson, trying to get Henson up there, but the push on the bottom is a little bit stronger right now, I believe.
Push from Derek Jewett on the inside, but Gill heard you, Chris, and he stepped it up to the back bumper of that bright red number 39 machine of Gavin Henson. Those 2 rows are dead even. Behind them, you've got the Reggie Kime American flag machine in 5th position. That run to the outside, visible from the cameras above. Henson leads the way down the back straightaway. He's going to bring it to the bottom now. Christian Barnes now to his back bumper. They've got to be careful not to make too much contact.
Yeah, that was really close right there to the bottom right there. But yes, you got Gavin Henson who has worked his way here to the lead right here. And yeah, we see the bottom lane with a little bit more energy right now at this stage right here. Reggie Kime right there in that number 9. That's in the Show It Off Ford Mustang. He's trying to get to the rear bumper of Stephen Gill. He's trying to give him the push right there, but yeah, they're having a hard time getting connected right there as they enter turn 1, and that inside lane is making up a lot of ground on the top lane.
Through turns 1 and 2, now down the backstretch, the first 4, now 5 cars single file. The battle begins in 6th place with Alex Pollock and Steve Gill. Pollock is going to get the win in that battle, and now Shobe's going to try to take advantage of that energy loss on the outside line as he draws even with that left side of the 03 of Stephen Gill. Shobe looking now for the 7th position as they go down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, up front, it's a big push from Christian Barnes and Gavin Henson. Chris, these drivers seem to be look comfortable together right now.
Yeah, they definitely do, and they look pretty fast together, too, because since they got hooked up on the bottom lane, nobody's really been able to get anything going on the top. I've seen Brad T. Nelson trying to, seems like Brad is really wanting to, be pretty aggressive with, leading lanes and switching lanes and trying to use the momentum. I think he recognizes this is a really good opportunity for him tonight. He's definitely made the most of his momentum. And now here that top lane comes right here with Ronnie Foster pushing that number 33.
Oh, one car wiggles behind them. I think that was the 12 of Brandon Willard. Maybe a little bit of a heavy push from the 8 of Holston right behind him. But yeah, we're riding on board with Ronnie Foster as he pushes that Caswell Glass machine right in front of him, a Brad T. Nelson, towards the front. Again, Chris, we just can't seem to figure out where you want to be. We saw Christian Barnes make the pass on the outside for that Stage 1 win, and you can see just shimmers of that outside line as we're riding on board, looking like it wants to gain momentum, especially as they make their way off the corners like they just did. As you see the number 6 of Foster, big push to the number 33, and it shoots it out like a rocket ship there.
Yeah, it definitely does, and we're definitely seeing some drivers that I think are a little bit more comfortable pushing, and some drivers that are a little bit more comfortable leading as we work our way further and further into this race right here. Seems like Brad T. Nelson, it seems like he's a really good leader. It seems like the lanes that he has led tonight, they've been really fast. Been seeing him pull a lot of lanes right here. Been seeing Ronnie Foster usually the 2nd spot in both lanes, so it seems like Ronnie's pretty comfortable being that car that's pushing. Now, we're not seeing him actually pushing right now, Ellis. I think he's trying to conserve and save a little bit of engine temperature in that number 6 machine, trying to make sure he's around at the end of this thing.
And that's just 12 laps, at least the end of stage number 2. Drivers racing for points here. Top 5 will be awarded points, and those points will matter as they move on into the playoffs. So every playoff point, every stage point, I should say, matters here. Top 3 single file. The battle is for 4th right now between that bright number 69 of Shobe and the 33 of Nelson. For the first time in a minute, that is Harold Tucker III. His driver's a little wiggly up front right now. I'd be a little bit nervous if I had that view out in front of me. But Harold Tucker III and that number 79 up in the top 10 after falling back early. We've seen that 79 have some speed. That Sofa News machine right now, he continues to work that bottom groove, now up into the 7th position.
Yeah, Harold Tucker doing a great job keeping the nose clean on that number 79 machine. We had a little bit of a change up here near the front of this thing, Ellis, with Christian deciding to jump out from behind Gavin Henson. And Barnes, it's like he had visions of leading this race and jumped to the top, and it looked like he might be able to use the momentum to grab the lead, but he's kind of slipped back a little bit right here and having a little bit of difficult time pulling even, I think, with Gavin Henson. We'll have to watch how this transpires right here, as this goes on right there. But, yeah, we're seeing right here drivers we thought were working together right there, the 39 and the 27. It looks like they being a little bit maybe not so cooperative.
Not so cooperative, yeah, and it could change on a dime, right? Like, it's all about where the run is, whether you got a friend there or not, and sometimes you're willing to abandon the friend if it means you're going to be up in the front. Speaking of up in the front, let's talk about who's not up in the front, Chris. We talked about these kind of packs that were falling back. This is a multi-pack race now. If you go all the way back to the 21st position, you'll find Jacob Cochran and Michael Cole, along with Aaron Espy and Toby Ritters back there, as well as Zach White and Joshua Gillen and Brett Wren. This is kind of a strategy that we see in every single super speedway race that we've run, and I'm more inclined, honestly, to want to be further back in the pack. We've talked about the storyline multiple times tonight. Just to avoid the big one, stay out of trouble to the end. And right now, that 84 and the 48 looking like they're going to stay out of trouble. Maybe Christopher Benning, that number 64, wants to join them as he drops back just from the front pack a little bit after running in the top 12 earlier.
Yeah, and Ellis, if I can't be, I think we mentioned it earlier, if I can't be in those first 2 rows, really, I don't want to be in the middle of the pack. I don't think that's where I would want to be. I think I would want to be back there where we see Jacob Cochran, Michael Cole. Brett Wren is back on track after his, expired engine. He used his quick repair to get back out on track. He's 2 laps down back there with these guys. So as long as nobody else gets lapped before the end of this thing, which I think the only one who's in danger of that maybe is Joshua Gillen, we might see Brett Wren get the lucky dog here.
And he's still out there racing. We had Alice Allen comment on that BPM spike a little bit earlier. I did see Brett get over 100, which is kind of abnormal for him right now, sitting around 84. That's kind of standard practice for Brett Wren. You see that heart rate monitor he's wearing for us tonight on the top right. We'll likely see that thing climb again later on. I thought the number 6 of Ronnie Foster, as we're watching there, was thinking about making it 3 wide for a moment between Brad Nelson and Harold Tucker in that number 79, but thought better of it. He said, man, we got 7 laps left in this stage. I'd like to make it to stage 3, and I think that's maybe the mentality a lot of these drivers are having right now on lap number 53 of 100. We have crossed the halfway point. This thing is starting to move right along as the pace of the race continues to pick up. Chris, I'm not surprised. A lot of folks in the chat, Dale Jr., the best super speedway racer. Dale Sr. not getting any love, though. I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't have any more Dale Sr. fans out there, but I'll give him. I think Dale Jr. is probably the best as well.
Yeah.
Would they say he could see the air? Is that?
Well, that's what they say about the Earnhardts. I think my personal vote would probably be for Dale Sr. I think that here at Daytona, we saw him win every single Gatorade 125 qualifying race between 1990 and 1999, which is just an obscene stat, Ellis. It's just crazy that he won that many in a row. He won every single one of them in the 90s here. So I think my vote would be for Senior.
But he only won 500 in 1998.
Yep.
Maybe folks are holding that against him. Either way, he's definitely one of the GOATs here at Super Speedways. Right now, the GOAT, at least for lap number 54 out front, it's Gavin Henson. You can see that aerial shot as they head down into turns number 3 and 4. It's Henson and Barnes, the front 2 cars, with Derek Jewett and Brad T. Nelson on the second row. 1 car up the track there. Alex Pollock opens the door for Adam Holston, who looked like he thought about taking it for a moment to take them 3 wide. But right now we're coming to 6 laps to go in stage number 2 before we enter into the final stage of this race. Lots of action going on the track. 1 car I've been keeping an eye on, I'm just trying to make sure I'm looking at the right car, is Andrew Allen, Chris. We haven't talked about Andrew Allen, Chicago Street Course winner in that number 96, sitting in the 15th place position currently. Hey, it's a paint scheme that you can't help but see on the track, but he's kind of in that danger zone that we've been talking about. He's slowly moving his way forward. After starting in the 20th position, he's been further down than that over the course of the night. So quite a bit of movement in that number 96 machine. You think this is a case of just kind of slowly making his way towards the front and being there at the end?
Yeah, I think so, and I think he's a driver that we can look at to make sure, that he's going to know when to be there in the closing stages of this thing right here. He picked up the win last night in that chaotic truck race that we alluded to earlier, and you heard some of the drivers we pulled in the booth talk about as well. So we know he can get the job done on super speedways. And yeah, maybe he's figuring it's go time right here as we work our way towards the end of stage 2.
Speaking of go time, it's showing up front. You can see the stack up on board with Andrew Allen. Speeds in front of him continue to decrease due to a log jam up front to 35 into the wall. Adam Holston is collected in that. Can they hold on to it? Green flag still in the air. No caution yet. That was the 35 of Belanti and Holston, who came into contact just a moment ago. It's going to send us to 4 laps to go in stage number 2. Nothing's changed up front. It's still mayhem with Gavin Henson leading the way on the inside. Christian Barnes and Derek Jewett now dead even down through turn 1 and 2 in the second row.
Yeah, we might be able to double box this thing and look at the possible contact that we saw right there with the number 8 of Adam Holson, 35 of Gino Volante. There's Volante on the inside. You see him just kind of wash up the hill right there, right in front of Adam Holson right there. Not a lot of damage to either one of those machines, and they'll be able to soldier on right here and make it to the end of this stage.
Now, one thing I would be concerned about, you know, if this were to have happened in the final stage where we watched Joshua Gillen, by the way, getting put a lap down after some trouble earlier, not really having a draft partner down to the bottom of the trial. We'll hold on to it there, Joshua. That pack that we had talked about that was falling back a little bit, they lost even more ground. And in this situation where we've got a stage break caution coming in about 2 laps or so, no harm, no foul. But if that happens in the last 15, 20 laps, you just kind of got to mash that throttle and go because you're afraid you might not get another chance to get back up to the front.
Yeah, I think they probably reacted to, yeah, you mentioned it, Ellis, you know, what was going on right there in front of them. But yeah, at the end of this thing, you really won't be able to do that. And if you do, the penalty is going to be greater because, you know, like you said, you might not have the time to do that. We're seeing some very aggressive lane switching right here. Oh, Gavin Henson with a big push from Derek Jewett. And, man, that really is going to jumble the field all up right here through the tri-oval.
Bigger log jam in front of them right now. A couple cars, Kime, as well as Andrew Allen and Steve Gill, had to react along with the one of Benjamin Gerhardt. He's climbed his way back in to the top 10, now 8th. Good run going for Gerhardt on his limited schedule. One thing is clear, we're going to have a Stage 2 winner in just about a lap and a half. What's not clear is who it's going to be. Gavin Henson in that bright red Coca-Cola machine runs out front, but the battle for second is heating up between the number 45 of Derek Jewett and the number 27 of Christian Barnes, but we could even see Brad Nelson or Andrew Schob, the third row, make a play at this. Keep in mind, last stage, Christian Barnes made that last corner pass on the outside. He's set up to do the same thing here, at least from the same line. He tries to draw to the side of that number 45. Chris, what's getting close to the side of that 45 do for that number 27?
He's just trying to pack some air onto the rear spoiler of that car that he is side by side with, trying to slow him down. You're not really trying to speed yourself up. You're trying to drag that car that you're competing with back a little bit right there. As Derek Jewett jumps out in front of Christian Barnes, and he's got the push to go to the lead.
Oh, Jewett now, they might split him 3 wide. He goes back up in front of the 27 of Christian Barnes. It's going to allow the 39 of Henson to get the run on the bottom. How willing is the number 45 to take evasive action to win the stage? He's got help from Christian Barnes, who grabs the wall. It's going to be Gavin Henson who wins stage number 2 here at Daytona. Jewett's going to have to settle for second place points. The rest of the points are going to go to Schob. I believe that was the 79 of Harold Tucker and the 27 of Christian Barnes. Chris, boy, if the first 2 stage finishes are any indicator of what we are in store for here in just about 30 minutes or so, I think it is going to be a wild one here at Daytona as we inch closer towards that white flag.
Yeah, and our producer Johnny Rapp is going back right here to show you the great side-by-side finish right here. I thought that Derek Jewett was gonna have the momentum, but yeah, he got all kinds of sideways off the front bumper of Christian Barnes right there. Probably a little bit more contact than what he wanted right there, but you have to have the push. And Christian Barnes looked like he had intentions to go 3 wide right there, and I think that is just all the sort of breaking speed and momentum right there that Gavin Henson needed to edge his way out in front.
And edge his way out in front, indeed he did. He picks up the stage win. And before we get these pit stops, we're going to take a quick moment to hear from our partners at Fall Creek Plumbing. We'll be back in just a moment after the break.
Whether it's a sudden leak or a project you've been meaning to tackle, Fall Creek Plumbing is here to help. Serving all of Central Indiana, we're a small family-owned business based in Pendleton, built on honesty, quality, and care. From slab leaks and water heaters to full plumbing upgrades and everyday maintenance, our team brings experience and craftsmanship to every job, big or small. It's not just about fixing problems, it's about providing reliable, long-term solutions for your home. At Fall Creek Plumbing, we believe in showing up on time, treating your home with respect and doing the job right the first time. Because peace of mind shouldn't be a luxury, it should be the standard. Fall Creek Plumbing, local, reliable, professional, and proud sponsor of Mystic Racing League.
Back here in Daytona, leaders making their way down for what might be the final pit stops of the evening. Gavin Henson comes to the attention of his crew. Christian Barnes, Brad Nelson, one car backing into their pit stall, overshot it just by a couple feet. That's going to cost them valuable seconds, and this is a critical pit stop, Chris, because cars collide. That's Derek Jewett and the number 16 on pit road. Just what I was about to say, Chris. One mistake can put you back in the field, or in this case, maybe even give you damage that could slow that car down. And we just saw it play out there. Mistakes on pit road could be the difference between getting involved in the big one and not. Let's see what happened.
Yeah, we'll go back and watch it right here. And yeah, I think it's already transpired here at this point. So Johnny's going to rewind for us right here. Yeah, Derek Jewett is taken out from his pit stall right here. And yeah, Aaron Espy is turning in right there, and maybe he was just in his blind spot and he never saw him right there. But yeah, these cars are transparent on pit road, Ellis, when they are in the pit stalls. But when they're not in the pit stalls, they are not transparent. And so it's just the cars were solid at that point. And if you've been in the sim, you know what I'm talking about. And they just came together right there. I don't think the damage is significant to either one of them, though.
They will look to carry on. Derek Jewett's going to reclaim his spot. And I think with minimal damage, it might not be too big of a deal. And I'm showing Derek Jewett still came off pit road in the lead. Andrew Allen, now they're fighting over it maybe a little bit, maybe debating on who won that race off the pit road. Derek Jewett, we're being told by race control, is scored as leader. Now Brett Wren on the tail end of the lead lap. I'm looking to see how many laps Brett is down. Yeah, I think he's going to get his lap back here.
He's going to get one lap back. He was 2 laps down, and Joshua Gillen, unfortunately for Brett, got lapped right there at the end of the stage. Brett was hoping to be, he was the first car a lap down. He was 2 laps down. He was wanting to get one of them back. So he's going to take the wave around here. What Brett Wren has to have right here, I think, he's really desperate for a very quick caution, because I don't think he has much fuel left in his tank right here. So if Brett can get a quick caution, he can get the lucky dog. And if he gets the lucky dog, he can come to pit road and still get his service done right here. So, and he can get back in this race.
And we're getting ready to settle it here, Chris. Just about 35 laps remaining in this race. Once we go green, drivers just took the choose rule. Looked like the first 4 out of 6 cars went to the inside there. That was Derek Jewett, Andrew Allen, Alex Pollock, Brad Nelson, who chose the inside. Drivers just seem to be more comfortable on that inside line. We've seen that outside just really struggle to do anything other than draw even with the lead. Anytime we've tended to see a breakaway, it's been on that inside. And I think drivers are really starting to put together those pieces. They've watched the race play out for the first 2 stages, and they've really built, I would say, a body of evidence. And have drivers been experimenting out there, you think, with where they can get their runs and where they can make their moves? Maybe, trying to do a dress rehearsal, dry run for the final couple of laps?
Yeah, I think a lot of drivers do that here, especially at Daytona. Turn 4 to the middle of the tri-oval where the start-finish line is. I think you definitely see a lot of experimentation right there, thinking about, what position you want to be in the closing stages of this. I always like to be in the lead, Ellis. I want to have to make that guy go around me in the closing stages. But yeah, you might find yourself second or third and maybe thinking about what you possibly want to do as we come to the end of this thing. And I think that's where the drivers who have been racing and not riding, I think that's where they might have an advantage at the end of this thing.
That's a really good point. Pace car is going to peel off onto pit road. Derek Jewett's going to be your control car. We're in the Geico restart zone. Gets a bump from Andrew Allen. Did the 45 spin his tires, or did the 96 get that good of a restart? Regardless, it's going to draw the front row even. Henson and Barnes, as well as Hunt, maybe have the advantage for the first time on the outside here as they head down into turn number 1. Henson gets that help from the 96 of Andrew Allen again as they set sail onto the back straightaway.
Yeah, a little bit of an errant push right there from the 96 is going to enable the top lane to get the momentum right there. And Gavin Henson decided to jump right down in front of Derek Jewett after he cleared him. And that's going to give Christian Barnes a bit of a run right here down the backstretch with a push from Caleb Hunt. That outside lane isn't done yet. They're drawing even now right here with the inside.
The storm is brewing, and the eye of the hurricane is up front, and it seems to be on that outside. That's where the energy is right now. Christian Barnes, along with Caleb Hunt, push their way out to the front. Barnes clears Gavin Henson on that inside line. Hunt looking to do the same thing. He might be able to do it down into one. He's going to try. He does. Henson might have had to lift the throttle for just a second, but Caleb Hunt maybe got away with one there, Chris.
That was really, really close. He might not make that move again if he had a second choice right there. But yeah, he made it work. They made everything work right there. And Gavin Henson's going to try to take his momentum here to the top lane right here with a push from Christian Barnes to get back to the lead.
Henson says, I don't know if I like that view that I just had. He makes that right-hand turn to the outside, rejoins the 27 of Christian Barnes. Those two cars have been working pretty well together over the course of these first 66 laps or so. 2/3 of the race now checked off the list. Just 33 laps remaining from Daytona. It's Henson in the lead, but Caleb Hunt looking to put an aggressive bump to the back bumper of that number 39 in second place. This is the raciest we've seen Caleb all season.
Yeah, I agree. And this is a great opportunity for him. Probably his best chance that he's had all season to punch his ticket and get into the playoffs. And, that same could be said for, several of these drivers up here near the front of this thing. Gavin Henson as well, Derek Jewett. A lot of drivers looking to pick up their first win tonight, Ellis.
And the playoffs looming, just 4 races, now 3 after tonight remaining in the regular season. We mentioned at the top of the race, these drivers who, haven't gotten a win this season, tonight is their chance to get that wild card dark horse victory and to launch their playoff campaign. And we're seeing drivers really take that to heart tonight. Caleb Hunt, one of those. Gavin Henson, another. Brad Nelson having a great run on that outside, second car on the outside right now. They're trying to make some magic happen tonight, and it's not out of the question. Several drivers in the top 10 winless over the course of the season. In fact, I'm looking at the top 10. Only 2 of them have a win this season right now, Chris. So I think we might have a first-time winner before this thing is done tonight. Gavin Henson continues to lead. Sole car on the inside on that number 39 car. Down the front straightaway they go.
Yeah, right now, I see some pretty good organization on both lines right here, Ellis, as we work our way through the tri-oval. Looks like the bottom lane might be a little bit more linked up nose to tail, but that push on the outside lane right there from Brad T. Nelson to the back of Christian Barnes. I brought up Brad T. Nelson earlier as being a really good leader, but he's proven that he can push as well when needed, and right now it's needed because the guy in front of him is the lead car. And he's doing a great job of pushing Christian Barnes down the backstretch here.
First view of the back bumper of that number 39 belongs to the 78 of Caleb Hunt, their second place. Johnny, I want to jump back over to the number 96 of Andrew Allen in 7th place. Can we get an on-board shot with that 96 inside the car potentially? And kind of, if you're driving, what are you thinking about, Johnny, as you're watching kind of out your front window? What's going through the head with just 30 laps or so remaining in this race?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, he's doing exactly what you want to be doing on the inside. It's not right up on the car in front of him. Now, if you look at the line, you got to give him a little bit of information to check up in front of him. He's putting himself in there. He's up here in the top. Fix himself. Perfect practice. Maybe step that line at the end of the race. Make a run on the high line. You got to stay up there and have a chance of it.
Man, you make it sound so easy, Johnny. You make it sound so easy. Right now, Gavin Henson has led the last handful of laps. He's that bright number 39 red machine out front of the inside. You can see just how dicey things are getting here at Daytona. If you're just now tuning in, do not go anywhere. We're getting towards the climax of this race, and that white flag followed by the checkered flag. Every single driver on the track, really, that you're seeing in this camera shot right now, Chris, has has a chance to win. That's something we can't say at the majority of tracks we visit. There are legitimately 20 cars plus on the track that we could talk to in victory lane in just about 20 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely, and they all know it too, Ellis, which is going to cause the aggression in the final stages of this thing to begin to ramp up. It's been pretty aggressive all night, but I would say here in the last, the second half of stage 2, all the way until now, early stages of the final stage, I would say it's been pretty tame. These drivers have been doing a really nice job of keeping everything straight, racing hard, but giving plenty of room out here on the track to each other. That's going to start to dial the other direction, I think, as we get closer and closer to the end of this thing.
Oh, big bump from Brad Nelson to the back bumper of the 27 of Christian Barnes. You saw it get him a little bit loose. Now, Chris, I think we might mix it up tonight with the giveaway.
Okay.
I'm wondering, is it too late to mix it up? I was wondering, we should maybe let fans guess who they think is going to win this race.
I like it.
Let's do that.
Like
Let's mix it up. Put the number of the car that you think is going to win this race in the chat. And whoever wins the race, the first person who put that number or their driver name, we're going to send them the diecast. Let's mix it up a little bit with 20 plus cars that have a chance to win that Bubba Wallace or win the race. You got a chance to win that Bubba Wallace diecast if you are watching. Let us know what driver you think. We already got answers coming in. The 48, the 78, the 5, the 78. Couple Caleb Hunt fans in here. So you heard it now. If Caleb Hunt wins this race, Ryder Faze is going to pick up that diecast. Let us know what driver you are picking to win this race. I think any of them got a shot right now, Chris. This is wild. You mentioned it earlier in the race. They were given a little bit of space. They were playing it cautious. They were given wide berths, car width between them. And right now, we've seen that patience. We've seen that caution begin to dwindle and all but disappear here with just 26 laps to go here in Daytona.
Yeah, we definitely have. And you're right. Any one of them can win, and they, like I said before, they all know that they have a shot. I do have a clarification that I want, Ellis. What if none of them win, and we have a different driver win? Do we hold on to the diecast?
Yeah. Oh no, we'll do the active. We'll do the active chatter.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that then.
That's our backup. We'll do the active chatter.
Not that I'm doubting our viewers at all, but you know how Daytona can be in the closing stages of this thing. We might get a complete surprise in the closing laps here.
I'm just typing this message to our fans in the chat right now so they know what they can win. Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say, as you do that right there, we are seeing a lot of sort of swaying going on between both of the lanes right here. The lanes are kind of coming a little bit closer together right here as we're working our way down to the end of this thing, Ellis. And we got some contact right there on the backstretch right there. A couple drivers hit the wall on the backstretch. They're all going to collect it and save it. I saw that number 1 machine right there. That's Benjamin Gerhardt. He held on to that thing, though, Ellis, and we're still green.
Still green, indeed. I want to look at the number 15th position, number 84, Jacob Cochran. Back there, middle of the pack. This is a guy I feel like is just lurking in the back. One Talladega. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that 84 up at the front. Do you think he's putting himself in a precarious position being here in the middle of the pack with about 24 laps to go?
Yeah, it is a little bit precarious, Ellis, but I think it's also important to start working your way forward. We got trouble at the front!
Right in front of him! The 96 of Allen, the 1, the number 5, the 69 Binning is now collected. This is at least a 10-car crash as they careen down the back straightaway. The big one has happened on lap number 76 in the final quarter of the race tonight. And boy, Cochran made it through it, but a lot of cars did not. Let's see if we can't figure out what just transpired.
Yeah, and I think it started around the number 33 of Brad T. Nelson. That was where I saw the first, it looks like he was trying to push. He was possibly trying to push Christian Barnes right there, deliver a bump draft to the 27. It got him all kinds of out of shape. He tagged the wall and then came down into the number 1 of Benjamin Gerhardt, the 45 of Derek Jewett involved. That's Andrew Allen sliding down there to the inside as well. A lot of drivers slid down right there. Andrew Schob and I think the 64 of Christopher Benning were going to make their way through, but they get some contact to the outside retaining wall as they come back out in front of the field.
Well, this is the Caswell Glass 250, and several of these drivers might need some new front glass windshields after that crash, Chris, as we watch Andrew Schob go through the grass down in turn 3. And this is an example of the bump draft gone wrong. And with under 25 laps to go, you can't blame these drivers. These cars aren't exactly draft friendly. We talked about that a little bit in the opening of the race, but look at just how fast these things are going. And Schob is just kind of a victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
He almost got his way through that, but yeah, those drivers that were crashing on the inside came back up into him. He did a nice job of, not plowing into the, cars in front of him that were checking up. He got checked up in time, and unfortunately, for he and Christopher Benning, I believe, those drivers were coming back up the hill right there and collected both of them. So tough luck for them. There's a lot of drivers that have decisions to make right here, Ellis, about whether or not to take their fast repair or elect to try to get as much of it fixed if they feel they can still hang on to the draft. If I can still hang on to the draft, maybe with the damage that I have, I'm gonna hold on to my fast repair and maybe save it for the final. Well, we know there's probably going to be another caution. Not that I don't trust these guys, but, it's just super speedway racing. I think I'm going to try to save that for the final stages of this thing.
I think that's probably wise. And Chris, guess who the beneficiary of this caution was? Getting back on the lead lap. If you're a Brett Wren fan and that Fall Creek number 24, look at that heart rate at the top right of the screen. That thing is calm, cool, and collected for Brett Wren right now. He's going to be back on the lead lap as far as I can tell. He's sitting back in 25th position. This is a new life for the number 24. We've seen him run as far up as second over the course of this evening. So be on the lookout. He's going to come down pit road, get that gas, get those tires, and we got ourselves a little bit of a race. And I think it might be a good opportunity to talk to Gavin Henson. Let's see if we can't get Gavin in here. See what chat he's in. He's in Waterforce Racing. Let's bring him in.
Yeah.
Gavin Henson. It's Ellis, Johnny, and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, brother.
Yes, sir, I do.
Boy, you got that 39 up out in front looking real good. 26 laps led tonight. What's it going to take in this final roughly 20-lap shootout or so to get the job done and get that first win on the season and lock yourself into the playoffs?
We got to stay up front. If we can do that, we'll give ourselves a shot. I don't want to be in the back with all the craziness and stuff. So if we can stay up here with our teammate Christian Barnes, I think we'd be in good shape.
What's it? Christian is leading on that last lap. Are you willing to maybe take it to the outside and make the move on him to the win? Any team orders?
Oh, definitely. If I got an opportunity to go win a race, I'm going to do it. But we'll work together until the last lap, and we'll see how it shakes out. But I would definitely make the move, but just don't want to make it too early. Don't want to put him in any jeopardy, and also myself. So we'll see how it shakes out here.
Good luck, man. 20 laps to go. Go out there and make it happen.
Thank you.
Gavin Henson talking about timing there, Chris. A little joke for you. I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but I found out that my timing was always bad. Timing is going to be everything tonight, and when you make that pass, Gavin Henson kind of talking about it there. Christian Barnes seemed to do a really good job of that at that first stage one conclusion to make the move for the win. So we know he's got some practice, but where do you think that move should happen? If you're in that driver's seat, Chris, where are you looking to make that move with just 20 laps left in this race?
Yeah, it just depends. If those two drivers are nose to tail in the closing stages of this thing, I would possibly want to have my front bumper on their rear bumper. I'd possibly want to, make the move off of turn 4. Depending on which lane they leave open. Just try to side draft to the line right there. But yeah, I would want to be pushing through turns 3 and 4 to try to maximize my momentum coming off of turn 4 to get the checkered flag. But you heard Gavin Henson say it doesn't matter that's his teammate out in front. he's going to try to win the race. I would do the same to you, honestly. But I'm just kidding.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. You won't give me a pity win, man. All right. Well, there aren't going to be any pity wins here. Gavin Henson and Christian Barnes, they're going to be fighting for it tooth and nail. They're the front two cars. Henson is the restart leader. We are underway once again. 20 laps left here at Daytona. If you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere. It's going to get wild. That 27 you're riding on board with jumps down in front of his teammate, Gavin Henson. He's clear out in the lead. Alex Pollock kind of no man's land with no help behind him. Is going to have to drop back to third. Reggie Kime right behind Gavin Henson in that red machine, looking to draw even to the back bumper of the number 9. You can see just how close these cars are out there on the backstretch right now.
Yeah, more momentum right now, more organization on that bottom lane right there as they're going to clear. It looks like the front 3 possibly. Actually, Reggie Kime not going to be able to clear with the front 2. Jacob Cochran gets to the rear bumper of Alex Pollock right here. That 84 machine, you talked about him earlier, Ellis, the Talladega winner. He is slowly but surely working his way up here towards the front of this thing.
It's got like an Austin Hill paint scheme going on. I might be a little bit afraid to be around that 84 at the end of this race. But he's doing a good job right now pushing that energy towards the back bumper of the 92 of Pollock. It allows Pollock in that black machine to climb the banking to the outside. He's looking for the lead for the first time tonight in that number 92 with the help of Jacob Cochran. And now that 92, Chris, this might be the most energy we've seen in the top lane all night long.
Yeah, and as soon as he cleared the bottom lane, he moved down in front of them. He wants to be down there, I guess, with those 2 Fords behind him. Actually, 3 Fords if you count Reggie Kime also in there. So now that's going to leave the top lane open, Ellis, for Jacob Cochran and Michael Cole. Oh, it's Christian Barnes. That's an aggressive move up to the top lane.
Barnes wants to be on the outside. Cochran looks to the inside, almost 3 wide for a moment there, thinks better of it. Now Barnes is the lead car on the outside. They reverse roles. Pollock dips to the bottom in that number 92. A little bit of a wiggle down there as he gets to the apron. Henson is that car behind. You heard from him during this last caution. He's willing to make that move, whatever it takes at the end of the race to get that first victory on the season. The outside line has the momentum down the back stretch, led by Christian Barnes. Now they set sail down into turn number 3, and here comes Pollock.
Yeah, and Ellis, while we were watching all this action going on right here, I was trying to do a quick look through the Discord right here. The 84 and the 48, those are teammates. I was curious about that. It looked like they were working really well together, drafting up really well on that outside lane. So those drivers, along with Aaron Espy, they're all teammates up there on that top lane. As they are, now they are free and clear of Christian Barnes. We'll see if they can work together maybe to maybe clear that bottom lane right here if they can get organized.
3 team cars lined up on the outside. Got to be an advantage there potentially with the coordination over the voice channels. Right now, back behind them, the number 6 of Ronnie Foster, 3 wide between Andrew Allen and the number 5 of Cody Giles, 3 wide, and Foster's right in the middle there. That is not where you want to be here at Daytona.
Yeah, right there, 3 wide with no help behind you at all. As Andrew Allen tags the wall right there off of turn 4. That's going to enable Ronnie Foster to have a lane to squeeze up into right in front of that number 96. So that was a saving grace right there for Ronnie Foster, who was possibly going to slip back if it wasn't for that.
It really was. What looked like it could have been a calamitous corner for a moment actually saves us from a 3-wide battle that we don't see a caution the rest of this race. We want this to go clean and green, but I think we're both not naive enough to think that's not going to happen. So we watch Gavin Henson lay the bumper to the back end of that number 92 of Alex Pollock, who's running out front right now. Reminder, Pollock trying to race his way into the playoffs with a win. He's fairly comfortable inside, but this would solidify his position. Gavin Henson kind of in the same spot as him. Barnes is already in. Cochran is running part-time. Chris, really the first car that could vault his way into the playoff after kind of being really close on that bubble. Watch out for that red, white, and blue number 9.
Yeah, a great opportunity race tonight for Reggie Kime. I mean, Reggie's been up near the front all night long, Ellis. He's been up here contending in the top 5 for the entire race. So, as we work our way closer and closer to the end of this thing. Oh, we got one car in the end. We got several cars right here sideways. That's going to bring out the caution, Ellis.
Ronnie Foster, is that? I thought it was Gavin Henson. It's the 13 of Toby Ritter's onto the turn 3 grass section doing some donuts. Not the type of donuts you want to be doing here at Daytona. Let's see if we can't figure out what's going to put us under caution with just 15 laps remaining at Daytona.
I think it's a possible lane change right here. Contact between Toby Ritter's right there in that red car. And no, it was actually contact from Andrew Allen into the back. Great camera angle right here from our producer, Johnny Rapp, to show that push into the back of Ronnie Foster. And we saw Toby Ritter's go flying through the infield right there. Several cars taking evasive action, Ellis, to do a nice job to get through this thing right here. And once again, we have a crash occur. Where not a lot of cars received a lot of damage. These drivers, they are on it tonight.
They are on it indeed, and we got to be on it right now. We got one last commercial break to play before we bring you live Green Flag Racing for the duration here. You're not going to miss a minute of the conclusion of the Caswell Glass 250 here from Daytona for the Mystic Racing League. We're going to hear from Whiplash Simcams. We'll be right back on the other end. Back here live in Daytona, watching Ronnie Foster, one of the victims of that lap number 86 crash that saw several cars in precarious situations looking through the rest of the field. Toby Ritter is one of those. Caleb Hunt might have been caught up in that as well as he comes down pit road. A couple cars took a wild ride, but it's going to set us up for what's likely going to be an even wilder finish. Right now, your running order, just to go through this and kind of catch viewers up at home. 4 races remaining in the regular season. A win locks you into the playoffs. I'm going to tell you the drivers who got wins and don't have wins. Up front, first place, it's Christian Barnes in that number 27. He's got a win. Jacob Cochran has a couple of wins. Third place, Alex Pollock does not have a win, and it needs one to, cement his playoff position. Gavin Henson, Chris, in 4th. He doesn't have a win yet. Michael Cole, only running part-time, but certainly wants that win for bragging rights. Reggie Kime in 6th position, that number 9. He needs a win. Aaron Espy, part-time. He's already got a win. Joey Beam needs a win to make it in. Cody Giles, he's running part-time. Andrew Shobe, also, I believe, would need a win to lock himself in. So there are at least 4 or 5 cars. Half the top 10 are racing for a win to lock themselves into the playoffs. The other 5 and everyone else in the field racing for, obviously, bragging rights here at Daytona. But, man, there's a lot on the line here. And what's going to be roughly an 11-lap shootout, potentially.
Yeah, and you mentioned all of those guys right there, and that they are in the top 10 right there, and they definitely have the best shot right here as we're coming down the closing stages. Drivers taking the choose right here. There's another driver just outside the top 10 who's very, very close, Ellis, to that bubble. He's right there on it right there, and that is a driver who was 2 laps down earlier in the race. Brett Wren has worked his way up to the 13th spot. A great recovery for the driver of the 24. That Fall Creek Plumbing Toyota Supra is up there in the 13th spot, and he's definitely not out of this thing either.
Lots of cars that can win. Right now, 1 to go. Drivers lining up after taking the choose rule. Christian Barnes on the inside. Alex Pollock is going to be the first car on the outside. That 84, the 48, and the 16, they're all lined up on the inside. Chris, is that bad news for Christian Barnes?
It just depends on the push that he's able to get from them. I wouldn't say it's bad news, because if those drivers on the outside stay tucked up, together, and they stay, running pretty close on them. I don't think that those drivers behind them, those teammates, even though they are very fast and they are obviously working together, I don't know that they'll have a lot of options, Ellis. I think it might be very difficult for them to, pull out and make a pass. But, yeah, we'll have to see how it works out here in the closing stages.
And we're not going to have to wait long. Several cars right now with a legitimate chance to win. And before we re-rack this thing and take that green flag for one final shootout, hopefully, if you're watching at home on YouTube, we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. We're nothing without you fans watching at home. Connor, man, you've been so great in the chat tonight. You're making me hungry with a donut comment. What's your favorite donut, Connor? Let us know in the chat. We got Ricky LaFleur rooting on Reggie Kime. He says it's Kime time. AJ Hale rooting on Caleb Hunt. Ryder Faze rooting on. We got some Caleb Hunt fans in the chat tonight showing out for that number 78. Right now, Caleb, he's got some work to do ahead. I'm sitting in 23rd, but he's not out of it right now. Every car on this track who's on the lead lap can win. Pace car going to pull off down pit road. It's going to be on Christian Barnes to mash that throttle. He does it right at the end of that restart zone. He's away cleanly. The battle now goes to second place, where Jacob Cochran tries to make the pass on the inside of the number 92 of Alex Pollock as they sail down into turn one.
You see Christian Barnes wiggling that car right there just a little bit right there as Alex Pollock is going to get to the right rear of Barnes, and he's going to kind of drag him back a little bit right here at that outside lane. And the inside lane, they're pretty even as far as organization goes here, Ellis. As far as the energy is concerned right there, I think the energy might actually be with the top right here as Gavin Henson. Oh, I thought he was going to push Pollock clear of the inside right there, but they're going to be neck and neck for the lead.
Side-by-side battle as far as the eye can see. The outside line loses a little bit of momentum as it becomes disorganized, but still the racing continues to intensify here at Daytona, coming to 11 laps to go. I should say 10 laps to go here from Daytona. On board riding with Christian Barnes. He's got a bumper full of Jacob Cochran. That's Gavin Henson, a little bit loose behind them. You saw maybe on the left side of the screen. Chris, the outside line continues to dissipate just a little bit, and you saw cars trying to get to the inside. Maybe that outside line is dying.
Gavin Henson just cleared Cody Giles to get down to the bottom lane, and Giles decided to jump up to the top. We haven't seen much of Cody Giles since he missed pit road earlier in the race when we were talking to him. He made some contact.
Espy, the number 5 of Giles, Kime. Beam, several cars. Ren's caught up in this. The number 71 of Zukov is caught in this. That's the one as well. My goodness, we knew we weren't done with crashing here at Daytona. This took out some heavy hitters, Chris.
Yeah, and we've gotten away in a lot of these crashes, Ellis, without a lot of damage to a lot of these cars. This one, not so much. There's a lot of heavily damaged cars right here. We're going to go back and sort of see what transpired here. Watching Cody Giles right here in the number 5, that's Alex Pollock right behind him. And yeah, you can see the 16 of Aaron Espy. He's up the track. Look at the distance between he and the yellow line right there. And he gets into Alex Pollock right here, turns him sideways, back up the track right in front of Cody Giles, Reggie Kime. All these cars piling in right there. That's Benjamin Gerhardt, Brett Wren. I can see Brad T. Nelson sideways back there. Alan Zukov sideways. Looks like Caleb Hunt getting some damage as well right here. A lot of drivers tore up in this crash right here with just 10 laps to go.
It's going to reset the field, and I have a feeling this is going to be probably a 7-lap shootout for the win. Christian Barnes is your leader. Jacob Cochran is second. Michael Cole running third. We've seen Cole in his limited schedule. On board camera there. Hard hit from Alex Pollock. And I believe, is that Cody Giles we're watching, Johnny, in that number 5?
Yep. That is the number 5 machine right there. And he got a grill full of Alex Pollock as those drivers came back up the track right here. We're going to get another shot right here. Riding on board, I believe this is with Ronnie Foster in the number 6. Ronnie looks like he had some contact from behind, and what a great job he does. Look at the evasive action on that number 6 Ford Mustang to work his way through that deal.
That was some great driving there on the part of Ronnie Foster in that number 6. Just going to be a 7-lap shootout here from Daytona, and what's been a wild 250-mile race, 100 laps, and a lot has happened. We've had a handful of big crashes. We've had comers and goers, and what we have right now is going to shake the playoff field up, I have a feeling. Right now, with only 2 drivers in the top 10, really, I'm looking 2 drivers in the top 14 that have a win this season. So there is a high probability that we're going to have a breakout first-time win of the season for one of these drivers in less than 10 minutes here at Daytona. If you're watching now, don't go anywhere. Send the link to some friends. Get them in the chat. If you want to share some great racing with them, I have a feeling this is going to be pretty epic. And Chris, I don't think Brett Wren is still calmed down. We watched that heart rate monitor on Brett from that contact just a little while ago. Unfortunately, that number 24 sitting on pit road, but he was making a go of it as several cars were that got involved in that crash. It shows you just how quickly things can go awry here at Daytona, and there is an element of luck involved as well, which I know is lamented by a lot of real-life drivers as well as, sim drivers as well, but that's kind of the nature of the game here at Daytona.
Yeah, it definitely is, and Brett Wren is one of those drivers, and this is an important point to mention. Some drivers have already taken their fast repair, so this caution right here, if you were involved in that big crash, I think it's twofold. Drivers who have saved their fast repair, they're definitely taking it on this yellow flag right here, whereas some drivers have already used it. And they are having to get all of their damage fixed the old-fashioned way right here. As drivers take the choose right here, looks like it's heavily weighted towards the bottom lane right here, Ellis.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by what we saw kind of in the laps right before that last yellow flag, because we saw all the momentum really shift to the inside line. That outside line got disorganized. We saw a couple weeble wobbles that broke up that outside pack. And when you break up the pack, you lose that energy in that speed. And we saw that happen there. And I think these drivers choosing that insider are probably thinking that very well history could repeat itself from what they saw on those last couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely a good possibility. If I was out there on track right now, and I can only think about this from my perspective, Ellis, I think that I would possibly want to take the top right here, just because with 7 laps to go is what we're going to get right here. I've got some options maybe. We haven't seen a lot of 3 wide tonight. We have in some instances, but if I'm on that top lane, I can either shoot the gap up the middle, if it's open, or I can start a 3rd lane up there near the wall, in the closing stages of this thing if I'm on the top. Whereas if I'm on the bottom, yes, you're right. It has been definitely more organized tonight, and I think the speed has been there. I always feel like I'm kind of trapped on the bottom in the closing stages of these super speedway races. So, yeah, it's definitely a difficult decision here in the closing laps of any super speedway race about what lane you're going to take.
And they're only going to have roughly 6 laps to settle it when we take this, actually 7 laps to settle it when we take this green flag. Christian Barnes is going to be your restart leader. Right now, he's waiting for that pace car to make that hard left turn. It's going to be a 7-lap shootout. Henson to the outside. These 2 guys have been working together all night long as teammates. Barnes takes the green flag. Henson gets a pretty good start as well, but Jacob Cochran in that number 84, he's going to close the door. Oh boy, Chris, are we seeing a little bit of teamwork here? The 27 maybe going to let that 39 dip in front of him. Absolutely. Yeah. Teamwork at play. It was one of the stories we were following in pre-race, and right now we just saw it unfold. That 39, that 27, they've got an advantage in that they're working together, and you saw the 27 cut the 39 to break. But look at old Harold Tucker up there, Chris, on the outside for the first time tonight. He's looking for the lead. He can race at these super speedways incredibly well, and we see him proving that right now on the outside, and it's a good-looking black and blue number 79 paint scheme with Sofa News on the hood. He's going to try to get that thing into Sofa News victory lane.
Yeah, he's trying to get that car. He's trying to get that lane up there, and they had good momentum down the backstretch, but yeah, he's getting a push right here from Derek Jewett. That bottom lane, those teammates down there on the bottom, couple different sets of teammates right there. They push their way free and clear right there, and Christian Barnes is now clear of that top lane right there. I think that you're right. I think they're going to try to I think they're going to try to maintain where they're at right there. There's a couple different, schools of thought here, Ellis. Maybe get side by side those teammates and control both lanes. Try to keep the rest of the field at bay. That's another possibility as well. But I think they look like they're committed to each other.
Big bump from the 27 and the 39 as they enter the corner. It got Henson a little bit loose, but you're right, Chris. They do look committed to each other, and right now they've got that inside line kind of clogged up. But Derek Jewett and Harold Tucker III, they want to do something about that on the outside. If the number 6 of Ronnie Foster can draw even, along with Brad Nelson, that outside line might be able to get some momentum, but we're not really seeing anyone get as close as these front 2 cars. Do you think they're biding their time a little bit here, waiting, lying in the weeds?
Possibly. I'm not sure how much. Derek Jewett. That car's a little bit sideways right there. Oh, we got trouble behind them.
Allen, they're going to gather it back up. There's one car. The number 8 of Holston hits the wall hard. It's going to put us under caution, and it's going to set us up surely for a green-white checkered finish here in Daytona. Hard hit for Brad Nelson along with several other cars there.
Yeah, and, this was, I think, the result of possibly drivers deciding to go 3 wide here in the closing stages of this thing. We're going to go back here. Look about middle part of the backstretch right there. Yeah, there goes Adam Holston trying to get into a gap up the middle right here. It's go time, and Brad T. Nelson went to close that door right there, and those two make some contact. We can see Adam Holston getting into a tank slapper right there down the backstretch. He was trying to hold on to it, but unfortunately that number 8 machine does go sideways right there. Oh, as Reggie Kime is going to make contact right there with Brad T. Nelson. He almost got his way through that crash.
Caleb Hunt also barely looks like he got some contact.
Yeah, he did as well. And yeah, that was, drivers trying to get all they can get right there. You get wired in a little bit different way, Ellis, in the closing stages of this thing. You've been giving and taking all night long, trying to, make sure you're around for the closing stages of this thing. And we're riding on board right here with Caleb Hunt. He checks up right here. He sees it. There's Reggie Kime right there making contact. And yeah, there is some left front damage to that number 78 Supra.
So right now, working, I believe, the 7th caution on the evening, but it's going to set us up for a green-white checker finish. This is your last chance. If you're trying to guess the winner for the Bubba Wallace diecast, we're cutting them off in just 1 lap. So get them in. Any of these drivers can win. If you choose the correct driver, you could win that Bubba Wallace number 23 diecast. Won the Brickyard as well just earlier this week. Right now, believe we haven't gotten the one to go yet. It's going to be one to go next time by Gavin Henson, Christian Barnes, Jacob Cochran, Derek Jewett. Chris, I'm keeping my eye on that number 45 car. I think that driver is hungry for a win, and we've seen him have speed. We've seen him willing to be aggressive. And Andrew Allen back there. If those two drivers get together, there is no telling what we might be in store here for in the last couple of laps at Daytona. And again, if you're just joining us, it's been a wild night. A reminder, right now, inside the top 10, there are only 3 drivers that have won a race this season. Every other driver in the top 10 is hungry for that first win of the season and a potential playoff berth. Just 1.5 laps before we get going under green for the potentially final time tonight. We got Ricky LaFleur in the chat saying Barnes will push Henson to the win. Is that a prediction or a spoiler? Ricky, appreciate you chiming in here. Connor Lyons also saying he thinks it's going to go to overtime. He was correct as well. Lots of people chiming in the chat right now. So getting ready for an exciting finish, folks. Send the link in YouTube to your friends at home to get them in on the action here. Chris, I want to kind of put a hypothetical to you. If you're Andrew Shobe in 7th place, and Johnny, feel free to chime in on this one as well as a driver expert. Certainly both of y'all more expert than I am. If you're back in 7th place, you got 2 laps. You're potentially going to be starting, 3 rows back. What's your best chance to get to the front in 2 laps?
Well, there's a lot of pressure right here on this choose right here as they are coming to it. But yeah, if I'm where he is or some of these drivers right here, I'm going to go to the lane that has the least amount of cars in it, basically. Because I want to try to move myself up as many rows as I possibly can. And We got a little bit of shenanigans. No shenanigans at all. I thought they were going to make some late decisions right there, but the teammates are going to split themselves up, Ellis. Barnes is going to be on the bottom, and Henson is going to be on the top here in the closing stages. And Andrew Shobe, that driver that we talked about before, he did exactly what I said he would do. He went to the lane that had the least amount of cars in it. He went towards the top.
He is going towards the top indeed. He's going to be on the third row here. I'm trying to save my voice, Chris, because I know this is going to get wild. I've got anticipatory anxiety, as I'm sure all of these drivers and maybe you watching at home do as well. It's going to be Christian Barnes and Gavin Henson. Chris, do you expect to see something like we saw in that last restart with maybe Christian Barnes lifting off the throttle and that 39 maybe get in front of him? Or are all bets off here?
I think that's definitely what we'll see. I think that we'll see them possibly do the little teammate move right here on the restart and try to get lined up with each other right here. Got to be real careful, though, not to change lanes too fast. You can't change lanes before the start-finish line. And the desire and the pressure to do that is definitely on. Trust me, I know that from experience recently. And it's very, very easy to do. So, I think that's the move that they'll make right here. But, they might surprise me also and decide, hey, it's time to race now at this point. All bets are off. I think they'll maybe save that for the last lap, Ellis, which is an important point also because we just have to get to the white flag to see no more cautions for the rest of this race.
2 laps is a long time. 1 lap is a long time here at Daytona. Are we going to have a first-time winner, or is Christian Barnes and Jacob Cochran already winners? Are they going to take the checkered flag tonight? We're not going to have to wait any longer to find out. Pace car peels off. Green, white, checkered, about to be underway. We're going green for the final time, potentially here in Daytona for the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Jewett dives to the inside. Henson throws the block. He's going to hold off the 45 for the time being. Barnes might have been the biggest loser on this, Chris.
Yeah, I think that they did try to work together so that they could get linked up right there, but Derek Jewett was pushing the 39 of Henson, and he wasn't going to let it happen.
He wasn't going to let it happen, and he might not be willing to let that 39 win the race. Several cars. Ronnie Foster makes extreme moves further back in the field. Chris, look out. That 6 and the 69 might get hooked up on the outside. We're just a quarter of a lap away from seeing our final flag of the race. It's Henson in that red machine. It's Jewett in that number 45. They round turn number 4. Jewett grabs the back bumper of the 39. Barnes swings to the outside. White flag is out.
White flag is out right here, and Christian Barnes has the momentum on the top lane right here. All the energy and all the momentum is with the top lane right here. Jewett trying to push Henson clear of the top lane.
Barnes and Cochran on the outside. 3 wide now for the lead. Barnes, the 39 middle. That's the 45 of Jewett with the help of Michael Cole in the number 48. 7-8 cars now with a chance to win as they work their way down the backstretch. Barnes in the bright blue car on the outside. The 45 of Jewett on the inside. Barnes and Henson, teammates hooked up. Contact between Barnes and the number 45 of Jewett. Cars sideways behind them. It doesn't matter. The 48 of Cole gets the 27. Derek Jewett seemingly going to win this race. Here comes the 48 of Michael Cole to the outside. It's going to be Jewett. Derek Jewett gets the win, his first of the season at Daytona, and with it, he locks himself into the playoffs for the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Wow. What a wild finish, Chris. I told you, keep an eye on Derek Jewett. No one in the chat thought he could do it, but he proves them wrong. It's going to be Jewett, Cole, and Espy, your top 3 here in Daytona.
Wow, what an incredible finish. We got to go back and see some of this action right here in the closing stages. I think that we're going to see Brett Wren go around first right there. Yeah, some contact right there between he and the 78 of Caleb Hunt. That's going to turn the 24 around back there towards the back of the pack right there. It's like Reggie Kime, also Adam Holson tagging the wall. While that was going on, we had all this mayhem up here. I can't even begin to call the action right here. There was so much contact right here in the pack. All these drivers crashing into each other in the final stages of this thing. while Derek Jewett is going to bring home the checkered flag.
Wild finish, one of the most memorable ones in recent races here. Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, Christian Barnes going for a wild ride upside down right there. Oh, he gets hit again. He's getting spun around on his roof right there, coming to the checkered flag right there. We'll maybe try to go back a little bit and try to zero in on the 27 to show you what a wild ride he went through here in the closing stages.
While we do that, we're going to pull in Aaron Espy, who is our third place finisher tonight, into the broadcast booth and hear from him.
I had shoved to my outside on my quarter.
Aaron Espy, this is Ellis, Chris, and Johnny in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, we heard you just debriefing kind of what went down there in the end. You ended up finishing third. Walk us through that final green-white checkered finish and kind of your thought process and what transpired there.
Pure chaos. Just trying to survive and get across the line.
You finished third. Is there anything that you think you could have done to maybe get the win tonight?
Probably would have helped if I wouldn't have turned Alex and got that EOL. Track position would have been nice.
Well, a man, a few words, but I would imagine it's a wild one at the end, and you're still catching your breath, man. Before we let you go celebrate that third place finish, you got any shout outs for anyone at home?
Yeah, I want to thank AER, everybody on my team, and Michael Cole for working with us tonight. We gave it our all.
All right, man. Good job. Third place finisher, Aaron Espy. Well, let's go celebrate that podium.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, you heard from third place finisher, Aaron Espy. Now we're going to bring Michael Cole in to the chat. Let's see if we can find Michael. There he is. Might have been in the same room, actually. All right.
Michael Cole, our second place finisher. This is the Slingshot booth. You got a copy.
Yo, what's up?
Man, Michael Cole, you are a man of the people, a popular man in the chat last week at Watkins Glen. We talked to you there, and popular man here tonight, bringing home the second place finish. We saw you working out there with Jacob Cochran, working with Aaron Espy as well, and you guys were in really good position right there in the closing stages. Walk us through the last lap right there. You were in a great spot right there behind Derek Jewett coming to the checkered flag.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just really just like the whole race. I mean, just tried to survive, stayed in the back the whole time, got out of the wreck, stuff like that. But coming to the last lap, I mean, just everybody's so tight. It's literally like I wouldn't even worry necessarily about like position. I was worried about getting towards turn 3, turn 4 without wrecking, and then just get so tight. It's just go whatever hole you can go.
Yeah, that's definitely the name of the game there in the closing stages, and you found yourself in a great position working there with your teammates for sure, and a great job all night long. So we're gonna have a little bit different action next week at Darlington. Are we gonna see you take that number 48 machine out on the track next week at Darlington?
Oh yeah, you best believe it. Yeah, I mean, be working with the same guys, you know. It worked today. It's been trying to work the whole time, but it worked today, so we'll try to make it work next week.
Hey man, we're looking forward to seeing you hit the track next week at Darlington. You put on a great show out there in the closing stages right there, and almost put that number 48 machine in victory lane. Before we let you go celebrate this great podium finish here tonight, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, dude. I mean, just AER, David Moyer, Aaron Espy, Jacob Cochran, yeah, all those guys, man, and you guys for hosting this, or not hosting, but broadcasting this thing, letting all the people see it.
Well, hey man, we appreciate you, and we appreciate you putting on a great show and bringing all the people here into the Slingshot Racing Media chat tonight. That's Michael Cole, our second place finisher tonight. Great run, bud.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now for the winner, first time winner this season, Derek Jewett. It's Ellis, Chris, and Johnny up in the Slingshot booth. Does driver 39 have a copy? I figured this is one we've been waiting for, man. I knew you would be excited. We're excited. First win of the season for you. You locked yourself into the playoffs. The excitement is palpable, man. Walk us through. First of all, let's go back earlier in the race. You had some moments. You got involved in a couple incidents. You got the quick repair. How do you lock in after all of that? Did you kind of have to convince yourself you could get back in it?
Gosh, man, I'm like like over the moon. I don't even know what happened. Yeah, I mean, you know, last night we had the same strategy, or we had the same strategy we did last night of just staying in the back, let everybody wreck each other, save that fast repair to the end. We were good. We didn't have any damage until like that second to last wreck where the 33 hit somebody or something happened where I just spun on the backstretch. I didn't think I had that much damage, but it was 8 minutes and I used my fast repair there, and it was just like, I tell you what, guys, you guys been looking at it. Every time I use my fast repair, literally the next lap I get wrecked and I'm out of the race. So I was just praying to the racing gods and Ryan Sandberg, rest in peace. That win was for him. And I don't know how it happened. I just got to the front and I just saw red and I just went.
Well, man, you definitely made an impressive push there at the end in the final green-white checkered restart. And we've seen you have these flashes all season long, and you just haven't been able to put a complete race together, not necessarily by any fault of your own. Bad luck seems to have just found you at every step of the way this season. What does it feel like to not have that bad luck, at least that we know it happened earlier in the race, but to make it to the end without anything bad happening for the rest of the race?
Yeah, I mean, first things first, I mean, 5 Star Racing, what they have done for me, rather if I've been on their team or not, they've really stepped in and kind of whipped me in shape. I mean, it's no secret. I had an attitude. I had behavioral issues. I got suspended for it. I came back with a new attitude. You know, I felt mentally better racing. Like, I'm not as aggressive as I used to be. When I need to be, I'll flip that switch. Obviously, you guys saw that. But really, just 5 Star Racing just kind of walking me through on what they need to do, what I need to do. Janik helping us with choosing, and Shobe doing what he was doing. My favorite driver, Adam Holston, doing what he was doing. I hate it for Brett Wren because he needed the points, but to get that first win checked off, you know, I just feel like the floodgates have opened, so to say.
All right, man. Well, I can sense the excitement. Like I said, I think this is going to be a popular victory in the garage amongst the drivers and the fans. Watching at home locks you into the playoffs. What do you make your chances of making a championship run here?
I mean, going into this race, I want to say I was like 100 points, if not more, above the cut line. So I felt pretty comfortable. I mean, Janik is untouchable. Cochran is untouchable. Andrew Allen is red hot right now. So when we get to the playoffs, the gloves are off, and I mean everybody. I don't know who's going to win. At first, like, I thought Janik was going to win the championship, but with how everything has been transpiring with his issues and Cochran being really fast and Andrew Allen being really fast, I mean, you know, anything can happen at any time. I'm very, very excited. We're going to drink a lot of beer tonight. I'm over the moon.
Well, man, congratulations on picking up that win. Before we let you go, any quick shout outs?
Obviously, you guys put on a great show. I can't wait to hear you guys call that race tomorrow. Everybody at CHGO. I'm just a Kansas City boy living in the Kansas City Chiefs territory, and I am a Chicago Cubs and Bears fan. And they had no reason to pick me up. I'm a nobody to some people, and they took a chance for me. Everybody with Adam Hogue, Mark Carmen, Greg Braggs, Stephen Nicholas, everybody on the Chicago Cubs side of things. Everything they've done for me so far. Beast Unleash, obviously going to be drinking a lot of that. Must be 21 to drink. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And then, Admin Box, Non-Typical Designs, Joshua Everett, Aaron Baum, doing what he's been doing and helping me, trying to be a better driver. Everybody with the league. I feel like I'm just naming off everybody. But like I said, we lost Ryan Sandberg earlier this week, and I really wanted to win for him. So that one was for 23.
Awesome, man. Well, an emotional victory. Congrats, and just don't drink too many Beast Unleashed. Too much caffeine, not good for you. I'm sure your heart's racing already, so be careful with the celebratory beverages tonight, but enjoy them as well. So, Derek Jewett, congratulations on that first win of the season. We'll see you next week at Darlington.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too. Johnny, Chris, this was a wild race. That in some ways it felt like it had moved at a fast clip, and in some ways it felt like it was incredibly slow. 250 miles, 100 laps here at Daytona, but not one of them passed where we didn't have some action going on the track. What are your impressions as we kind of close out the night here at Daytona?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Ellis. Daytona, it never fails to disappoint. It's always a great show. It's always, highly entertaining, and we know we're going to tear some stuff up, but we also know that, we see moments like what we saw right here with Derek Jewett, somebody that, we haven't seen win all season, a great opportunity to race for so many drivers, and that really, makes it exciting for us here in the booth and for the people who are watching here and that have been participating in the chat all night to see their favorite driver. Might be a family member, might be a friend, possibly bring home their first checkered flag of the season. And tonight it was Derek Jewett's turn, and he got it done right here in the closing stages at Daytona.
Johnny, do you think you could have handled those last couple of laps?
Man, I'll tell you what, I do love me some restrictor plate racing, and these guys put on a great show. I would have loved to have been out there with them. Man, I think I would have been the one sending it 3 wide to the wall, and hopefully not overheating my motor and blowing up on the last lap, pushing a certain somebody. But either way, yeah, incredible. I know it was a huge wreck coming to the end there, but hey, you got to get what you get, on that last lap, and they did a great job, and pretty good race to the line too, and congratulations to Derek.
Man, we're going to be looking forward to Darlington next week. It is a complete opposite of what we saw tonight, boys. It is a highly technical track. It is going to be a lot of contact, probably more contact with the wall than car-on-car action, what Darlington is famous for with those Darlington stripes. But I think the intensity is picking up in these final 3 races. We very well might have another driver emerge with that first victory of the season next week at Darlington. A lot of guys' favorite track. I know that's been circled on several people's calendar to go out there and maybe get that victory. So we'll be tuning in. We'll be here, same channel, same station, same time next week, 8 o'clock Eastern time for race number 25 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series at Darlington. We're going to be gearing up for a brand new season of Slingshot Racing League races, guys, in the next few weeks. So you miss us on Mondays and Wednesdays, don't worry. We're coming back before you know it. You got plenty of race replays to check out in the meantime. Don't forget, we've got those Gen 4 iRacing tutorial videos. If you're running those Gen 4s and the iRacing officials, don't be a stranger to those videos. Incredibly helpful if you're struggling to get a handle for that car or just want to get better. Let's look through the finishing order tonight. Derek Jewett, Michael Cole, Aaron Espy. We heard from those 3 guys. That's your top 3. Brandon Willard, Chris, how about that? Best season of the finish, or best finish of the season, I should say, for the number 12 of Brandon Willard. in that fourth position. Zach White finishes 5th. Another great finish. Ronnie Foster, 6th position. Gavin Henson has to settle for 7th after a strong run and a near victory tonight. Toby Ritter's newcomer, impressive 8th place finish. Alex Pollock settles for 9th place, while Christian Barnes, one of the fastest cars that led some of the laps tonight, settles for 10th position.
Yeah, some great runs, some great stories there in the top 10, Ellis. You mentioned them right there. Some drivers really impressing tonight, and drivers maybe finishing worse than what they deserve to finish based upon the speed they had and the laps they led. Andrew Schob right there in 11, we saw him in a late crash that kind of, deterred his track position a little bit. Alan Zukov is going to finish in 12th. Joshua Gillen, we saw him leading earlier in the race. He's going to have to settle for 13th tonight. Brett Wren, man, what a performance tonight out of Brett Wren. What a persevering performance out of him. Was 2 laps down earlier, battled back to get back on the lead lap. Looked like he might be in good position to get a good finish. Unfortunately, caught up in crashes late in this deal. Joey Beam is going to finish in the 15th spot. Adam Holson will have to settle for 16th. Caleb Hunt, another driver we saw up there near the front a lot of this race. Doesn't get the finish that shows how fast he was tonight. Same can be said for Reggie Kime, also in the 17th spot. That's showing up as a tie right there for 17th. We'll have to go back and look at that. Jacob Cochran right there I believe he will actually finish 19th. And then Cody Giles right there is going to round out the top 20.
21st was Christopher Benning. We saw him up at the front at the beginning of the race, but got caught in some troubles early on. Brad Nelson, another fast car that doesn't get the finish he probably deserved tonight, getting caught up in some of the late race mayhem. Harold Tucker, also in that group, had a strong run, ran up front early on and late on, but got caught in some late race trouble as well. Andrew Allen, again, we're going through the list of guys who did have trouble towards the end of the race. Benjamin Gerhardt, Stephen Gill in 26th. Chino Volante on his birthday finishes 27th after an early race collision. And 28th, David Moyer had some speed and practice, but caught up in an early incident in the first third of the race. Will finish 28th. So some good stories and some stories that drivers would rather not have attached their names tonight, getting caught up in collisions, having trouble at Daytona. But that tends to be the name of the game here from the beaches of Florida. The Caswell 250 at Daytona. Number 45 of Derek Jewett is your winner for the first time this season, folks. For Slingshot Racing Media, for Chris Smith, Johnny Rapp, this is Ellis Thomas. We'll catch you folks next week. Have a wonderful weekend. See you later.